The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. And Odyssey Sports Station.
Yep.
The workday is coming to an end.
It is 5 o'clock. I will see you all tomorrow.
But Gwynn and Chris are just
just
getting
need to know.
started.
Sports Talk It In. I can't tell. I don't know.
Your hosts, Tony Gwynn Jr.
Now, I will say the journey, and it was a journey to get to the press box, is one of the toughest journeys I've been on.
And Chris Ello.
He hits 2 home runs every game, including a bland. Excuse me. Well, it's going to be one of those days, huh?
It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
And we welcome you into another week of Gwynn and Chris Manic Monday here on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr. is in San Francisco. That's where the Padres kick off a 4-game series tonight against the Giants. You know that team that's in their division that they never get to play. They will actually play the Giants tonight for only the 3rd time this season, which is more than they've played against the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. But they will be seeing those 2 teams as well in the next couple of weeks. And to that end, the Padres picked a really good time to come up with a 4-run rally in the 7th inning yesterday and pull out a 6-4 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates to take that series and head on into San Francisco with a little momentum. Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yes, sir.
No momentum for you today. You have been stopped at almost every turn by technology. So we are very pleased to have you with us right now because I know it hasn't been an easy go.
Yeah, no, it has not been an easy go. It has been quite difficult today.
Yes.
I think is the word.
There's nothing like opening up your radio gear only to find that some of the parts have been left out.
I mean, the
without
actual,
your knowledge,
the actual power source, the thing that you need to actually turn the machine on.
Yeah, you had no chance. You had no shot at all. So.
Instantly, there's like a panic set in because there's a game plan. It's all mapped out, and we got an abort mission on that. So I put my clothes on, I get over to the ball yard, and of course, Dave's not expecting me here because I have a machine. I literally he saw me carrying it.
Yeah, he
doesn't know that there's a piece missing out of it. So then he has to kind of scramble. Thankfully, he was here. He could have not been here because again.
He's always there, though. He's always there. I mean, the flight arrived last night, so you know that he was already there. His pillow is in the corner of the booth. But yeah, thanks to Dave Marcus for hustling on that and being able to get you on, get you aboard here. Tony, you're having a rough go of it with all of the surrounding things. I had I didn't have a tough weekend. But my body evidently wasn't ready for what I put it through. I refereed 4 basketball games this weekend, some high school stuff, some summer league, and that's normally no big deal.
Real quick. Yeah. When's the last time you refereed a game?
Exactly. You're getting to the point here. It's been like 3 months. So I'm in okay shape generally, but I'm not in refereeing shape. So I ran around for 4 games this weekend, and I got up this morning, and I felt like the left field wall at Petco Park. Felt like Gavin Sheets had just run me over. So, I'm kind of dealing from
what exactly is hurting today?
Let's start with what's not hurting. And my right elbow feels okay. That's about it.
Are your feet blistered?
No, feet are okay. And it's funny, too, because I was reffing on Saturday, and one of our guys in the association said, man, how old are those shoes? And
it might be time for some new ones.
No, here's the thing. I told him, I said, you're right. They are very old, but I put insoles in this particular pair of referee shoes about 6 years ago, and my feet have not hurt since. So I am not replacing those shoes until it is
The
absolutely
shoe, though, is
necessary.
still just because the inside of your foot feels good does not mean the rest of the shoe is in good enough shape 6 years deep.
You don't think it's doing its job properly?
I'm just saying.
I used to
man.
have some really sore feet after games, and I haven't had that in a long time, Tony. I don't really.
Well,
I don't know, but you're right.
we'll
The
go
rest
with
of the
it.
leg isn't feeling good, so maybe I'm not getting the support I need. Anyway,
I'm just saying.
yeah, I'm here. You know, look, we play hurt if we have to, and you know, both of us are hurting in different ways today, and certainly, Tony, the Padres would be hurting a little bit if they didn't come up with that win yesterday. Just because the timing of the injuries to the pitching staff and the fact that the offense had been struggling to get hits, let alone score runs. And, you're trying to, Mike Schilt is piecing together everything a little bit right now. And now you've got this stretch of 17 of the next 20 games against the teams in your division. And the 3 games that aren't are against the Brewers, who are pretty good as well. So you want to go into this feeling 100%, but the team just isn't 100% right now. So that win yesterday I felt was more important than a lot of just Sunday afternoon getaway days.
I think it makes everybody feel better. For sure. Right. I don't know how much of an importance it is in the grand scheme of things. Right. I mean, that one particular game, but it certainly felt like it was the kind of the just the thing that you needed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we can't predict at all how important it is ultimately, but it felt like it was necessary, and they got it done. And it's kind of been like that. They've won their last 3 series in a row, and it's a lot of them have been those type of victories. It haven't been like the onslaughts we saw earlier in terms of they just bludgeoning teams with hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
A lot of the wins in the last, 9-10 games have come, kind of in the way we saw them having to come back, them having to do, whether it's base running that ends up starring in it or, a big homer. I mean, it's been different ways late that the Padres have had to win games. And I think those type of wins, man, they build a belief in your team. Like even when, the chips are down and things ain't necessarily going your way, you guys are still finding ways to win games. So
yeah, agreed.
You got this 4-game set though coming up. As you said, this next stretch of games is this is where you find out what your team is cut on, regardless of who's available, who's not.
Yes.
They know they gotta go out and get wins.
Yeah, I don't believe Logan Webb is going to take it easier on the lineup tonight because, potentially Gavin Sheets won't be in there, and I doubt he will. We haven't seen an official lineup yet. If he comes into play tonight, man, more kudos to that guy than I can imagine. We'll talk more about him and left field because maybe some help is on the way, at least according to Dennis Lynn of the Athletics, as the Padres I've had some serious talks with the Red Sox about Jarren Duran. So, we'll see where that might lead. But to go back to what you just said, Tony, about scrapping and clawing and finding a way to win. And it's important, people, because I was watching the game yesterday like everyone else. And by about the 6th inning, I was already starting to craft the open to today's show. And the open to today's show was going to be well, that didn't go the way we wanted, but you can always turn it around by winning 3 or 4 in San Francisco. And they changed that narrative because they got the win, and now they've won 3 straight series. But if you look at the 3 series, they beat the Braves 2-1. They beat the Braves 5-3. They beat the Marlins in extra innings 4-3. They beat the Marlins 8-6 in a comeback game. And then they beat the Pirates by 1 run, and yesterday by 2 runs. All 6 wins have been by 2 runs or fewer in this stretch. And you can look at that and say, well, that's not very good. Or you can look at it and say, that is very good. Because would you rather be 3-6 in the 9 games? So
right.
To me, they're staying afloat here during a difficult little stretch. And that's a good sign, I think,
It doesn't always correlate, but at some point we get into July, August, and we start, whoever it is, MLB Network, ESPN starts running those numbers, teams with the best record in 1-run, 2-run games.
Yeah.
A lot of times those teams are, there might be 1 or 2 scattered in there that, are kind of anomalies, but most of the time those teams seem to be cutting, going deep into the postseason talk conversation. So, especially now that you're not playing your division as much and there's no the tiebreakers, there's no extra games, right? You end up tied against these teams. You want to have a head-to-head matchup. You want to be able to have that under your wraps. That was ultimately why last year the Padres didn't have to worry about anything, is because they owned every tiebreaker and every head-to-head matchup almost. So, yeah, those things are important. You want to win those close games. And when you're winning them and you're not at your best, those are confidence builders. Now, all that, you just get the feeling when these games match up, no matter how the Padres have looked over the last couple of years, when they came into these games, they come in prepared. Like they know what it is when they get into these division games, especially against the Giants and the Dodgers. Over the last couple of years, we've seen the Padres play some of their best baseball in these very series. So I don't expect anything less, even with how things have been going.
Well, tonight they'll face, as I said, Logan Webb. They hit him pretty good in the first round back at Petco Park at the end of April. Webb did not have a good outing. The Padres beat them 7-4 that night. So hopefully something similar tonight. Stephen Kolek has pitched well. He'll get the call tonight. Still undecided for tomorrow night. So again, you're not the way you really want to go into this series, but it is what it is. And, like you said, Tony, the last time the Padres won a game comfortably, like really comfortably, it was 21-0 in Colorado. And that was May 10th.
Yeah,
everything since then.
Remember, they went out and lost the very next game.
I know. Every game since then. They've won 8 games since then. 7 of the 8 decided by 2 runs or fewer. And the only other one that wasn't was a 5-1 win over the Angels. And I think Lockridge had a 2-run single in the 8th inning to break that game open. So that was close for most of the way. They're finding a way. That's the good news. How are they going to deal with some of these struggles, some of these challenges going forward? Tony's in San Francisco. Chris Ello here. Frank is here as well this week, sitting in for Scraby. We'll discuss some more Padres stuff and wrap up everything else that's happened this weekend as we continue on Gwynn and Chris. 97.3 The Fan.
we just are chilling out, waiting for this Padre game to start a little later on tonight. Where should I start? Let's start
with Frank's shirt, don't you think, Tony? I mean, he wore all black today as the death march for his Knickerbockers.
Not just the Knicks, but also the embarrassing performance that Inter Milan put on in the Champions League on Saturday.
He's an Inter Milan fan as well.
They got slapped. They got
it was
slapped.
awful.
5-0 in the championship?
Awful. Awful.
My Lord.
Yeah, that almost lessened the pain of the Knicks loss, Frank. It was so bad.
I was numb to the Knicks after that.
Yeah.
That was a tough one for you, my friend.
Yeah, that
for
was
sure.
Oh my God.
Well, let's do this. I know everybody wants to talk about Jaron Duran, that conversation, that whole thing that's happening, but that's not that important right now.
I agree,
Ryan,
Tony. I mean, this is it not a bit of a long shot, or do you like this opportunity? I mean, are the Red Sox going to give up on a good young player like this? Or are we going to be able to find enough to give them back?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
But Ryan Burgert is in San Francisco, according to Kevin AC, and will be on the taxi squad today. For those who know the taxi squad, that is you can have a player that is not on your roster but is on the taxi squad so that he can basically do everything on the field prior to the game starting. But after that, he's limited on what
he's not active tonight.
He's not active, right? But
doesn't mean he won't be active tomorrow night, though.
And is expected to start for the Padres in tomorrow's game. So for those who may have been wondering at a TBD or TBA on the Padres pitching rotation list, that is what might happen tomorrow. We'll find out.
Looks like it will happen, but yes, we'll be sure.
On to the bigger rumor of the day, and it's not necessarily a rumor because Dennis Lynn of The Athletic was on with our guy Ben and Woods this morning, and kind of only added to the story that came out earlier this morning that the Padres are interested in Jaron Duran. Now, that being said, at least my understanding of the article is like this isn't even yet a deal yet in terms of Padres are actually pursuing it. There's some interest there, it sounds like. Then the whole question of what do the Padres have to offer, and if they have enough, and if what they do have should be included in a deal for a very young, I would say, ticking upwards.
Potentially really good ball player, right? I mean, young, but pretty good last year. Really good last year. I think he had one of the top OPS in all of baseball, or not OPS. Yes, OPS and WAR
he was
last year. He's way up there.
His WAR is. I mean, he's both sides of the ball type of guy. His defense is elite. He has moved to left field, I believe, this year after playing center the last couple of seasons, and. This is something that is on the radar, it sounds like, of the Padres, a controllable piece for 3 years after this season. So it goes to what you were kind of alluding to before we actually got into this subject, Chris. It is, what is it going to cost you?
That's what I would worry about, honestly.
The Red Sox are – the thing that is pushing the Red Sox is that they have a big time, their best prospect, waiting behind basically Duran, and he is basically knocking on the door, and there are some folks out that way clamoring for his arrival, and that his arrival would ultimately mean you can move a guy like Duran, but I don't know. We'll see. I think he's obviously a great player who fit well, I think, from a talent standpoint.
Yes.
On the Padres team, but this isn't something that I'm ready to start having full blown conversations. This is still a dream off in the distance for now.
That's where I would put it as well, Tony. I mean, this guy had almost 200 hits last year, first of all. And it was the WAR that was gigantic last year. 8.7, one of the tops in all of baseball. He had 48 doubles and 14 triples last year and 21 homers. So he had 83 extra base hits. That's a lot. And he also stole 34 bases.
Yeah,
so
no,
other than that,
he's
he
a
really
complete
wasn't
player.
very good. Yeah. This year he's come back a little bit to earth. He's still leading the American League with 6 triples, only 4 home runs this year, with 13 steals. So his stolen bases this year pretty much on par with where he finished last year. He's a little down in the home run department, a little down in OPS. But yes, this is a player that you would love to get. But I always feel like these stories that, they're interested. Well, yes. I mean, who wouldn't be interested in a possible, young all-star up-and-coming player? The Padres would have to be, completely asleep at the switch if they weren't going to at least, kick the tires on this. But I also don't think the Red Sox are in the business of just making the Padres a better baseball club,
No, well, I think you got to take these, how you get to this point, right? Like when the Padres traded for Luis Ariz last year, before the season got going, there were already rumors that the Marlins were looking to move him, right? That's about, I don't know, 3 months before the actual deal happens. This Durant thing pops up today. I don't know that this is perfect timing for what will end up a deadline type of deal, right? Like, I don't know that the Red Sox are going to punt right now in June, right? Like this month. They certainly, and I don't know that they want to move them. And then I think the next big question is, what would the Padres have to give up?
Yes, that's another,
right?
I mean, would you have to dive into one of your 2 untouchable players to
With
get a
3
player
years,
of this category?
With 3 years of control?
Yeah,
I would think so.
Yeah, I would think either DeVries or Salas would have to be mentioned in order for the Red Sox to even think about listening to an offer.
Yeah,
I
would think so.
Yeah, it's really fun. This is, and I'm not discounting. Dennis Lin is on top of this stuff, but my point is what you said. I think the Padres, the potential that Durant is available means the Padres have to look at it. They just have to. They would be,
and I have no doubt that Dennis is right on it when he says that they're interested.
Yeah,
I just don't think that we are there right now. Like this is like happening, or
in agreement.
They're in full conversations or anything like that.
In agreement. Agreement. Did you see? Give me a Gavin Sheets. I mean, did the guys just give him a hard time, or were they nice to him? How's he feeling? That was a tough collision, I gotta say. He was pretty funny when he came off, and he was smiling about it. And I know that everybody kind of joked about this, but
he almost caught that too. The ball didn't.
It wasn't. He didn't miss it by that much.
He didn't miss it by that much. But yeah, man, Wall is undefeated. I've seen that a few times. I saw Hunter Pence like actually knock himself out in Houston running into it. Like the Wall came out of nowhere. But yeah, he looked all right. I mean, he walked off on his own power, looked to be all right on the plane. Like, I don't know what that means in terms of playing baseball, but
yeah,
he certainly, it was nice to see him get up and kind of be laughing and then kind of walk off on his own. Cause at first it was kind of scary. You see a big man run into a wall like that and is flat on his back, really not moving a whole lot.
No. The wall. Look, Gavin Sheets will probably be back in action before the Wall, though. Because the Padres had to go on a road trip to give them time to fix the Wall this week. So that may take all week to get that organized. I think Gavin will be back in the lineup before that. I just
you know who that probably scared more than anybody? Jackson. Like, just think, man, don't run into that man on a fly ball. Make sure y'all communication is right, because you saw the damage he did to that wall, and that's
a big man.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to give Gavin Sheets some credit here. I mean, look, if you want to sit there and say what you want, he doesn't look like a ballerina, certainly in left field. The fact that he's willing to go out there and give it everything he's got right now, because this is what this team needs, is for him and his bat in the lineup and to get another one back, in the lineup potentially by him playing left field. To me, it's a selfless move by Gavin Sheets. It really is. And we've seen what's happened in Boston. I'm not comparing him to Devers, but I was just
about to say that, right? Like, there's 2 different approaches there. Now, obviously, one had a little more leverage than the other, but it's still 2 different approaches to a similar issue that
Situation,
both teams, situations that both teams had.
Well, he gets a lot of props from me, and I know that he gets the same from his teammates right now. I mean, this is what, everybody buys in and does what they have to do. He can't be 100% comfortable out there. Maybe he would be by the end of the year, but he's just not, played enough left field, and that's okay. So he's given it everything he's got to try to help you. The bullpen was back in business yesterday. Let's not forget about this. 5 1/3. Needed to see that again. And our guy Morgan pitched well. And the new guy, Bradgley Rodriguez. Yes, he pitched well. So look, you get a couple of arms that have come up and given you a little boost there. Suarez locked it down nicely. This is kind of the theme for how they were winning so many games earlier in the season. You keep the team locked in and you give yourself a chance to come back. And I mean, Mike Schilt loved it. The 7th inning, they drew 4 walks along with the clutch hitting they got. And that'll put a smile on any manager's face, because every single guy I thought that inning really dug in. And, that's what was needed.
You got some of the best ABs of the day in that inning. And it led to the Padres taking advantage of some free passes. And their offense has been opportunistic all year. But it was just in they were doing it in a more massive fashion throughout the game. Now they're opportunistic, but it's when they need it, and it's come up in a big way for them for sure. All right, let's slide away. Let's get to break. On the other side, MLB's 7 big questions heading into June. We'll get into it next here on Gwynn and Chris.
Tony Gwynn Jr.'s in San Fran, and Frank Marchese mourning, wearing all black today after his New York Knickerbockers were unceremoniously dumped from the NBA playoffs. It'll be Indiana and OKC for the NBA title. You know something, Tony? At least for the moment, even the most ardent of conspiracy theorists in the NBA have to be quiet for now, because there's no way the NBA ever wanted a series between Oklahoma City and Indiana.
Oh, don't you worry. There's a conspiracy theorist out there that has found the magic pill for why this is the NBA wanted OKC to be in the final, facing off against the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I could totally see it.
Yeah.
I think this is actually going to be a good finals. I think everybody's assuming OKC is going to just come through and kind of wreck shop. But I think the way Halliburton is playing right now, I don't think you can count that dude out of anything right now.
I don't either.
Or his team, for that matter.
Yeah, Oklahoma City is the biggest favorite to win the NBA Finals in over 40 years. I mean, they're like minus – what did I see? Minus 7,000 or something. I mean, there's like no chance being given to Indiana at all in this series, according to the odds makers. OKC's 700. So 7-1 again. If you bet $100, 700, you only win 100 on OKC. Indiana's plus 500. So you bet 100, you'd win 500. I don't get that. But I'm not seeing the same thing everybody else is seeing, because everyone across the board not only thinks Oklahoma City is guaranteed to win this series, but they are on their way to becoming the next great dynasty in the NBA. Like, they're already predicting 3 or 4 more championships for this team. What am I missing?
Brian Weinhorst he has sold his soul for this team right
here.
Yeah. This is the greatest team ever. So
ever. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith's right behind him. I saw a column in USA Today said the same thing. So
I think this is a really good team. I just think that, matchups matter, and I think Indiana is playing just a really good brand of basketball right now. We'll see, man. I think it's going to be a good series, which is good for all of us.
The one thing, and I think for Indiana to have any chance, and I think they do, but to have a chance, they got to at least keep SGA off the free throw line and make him take a ton of shots to get his 30 points. He's going to get his 30 points. The question is, how many shots does he need? And I think Indiana's got a couple of good defensive players. Neesmith is good, and so is Nembhard. So they've got 2 guys they can put on him.
And the thing is, having multiple guys that you can keep throwing at him gives you 12 fouls between them that they get just between those two. And those are both physical defenders too. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be a good matchup.
Those are the 2 guys that we're tasked with keeping Brunson under control in the next series. And I think by and large, they did. Brunson had his moments, but he got banged around pretty good. Anyway, I like Indiana to have a real good chance in this series, but Tony and I are in the minority there. Frank, you got this now? 7?
I do.
What do you have here for
I
us?
have
Frank Marchese making his first real appearance on the show today.
I have the 7 questions.
Okay.
7 Major League Baseball questions.
MLB Network has posted their MLB.com has posed these questions.
Yes.
Okay.
As we enter the pivotal month of June, what could possibly happen and how long can certain streaks last? And speaking of streaks, Aaron Judge right now currently hitting 398.
Still
Yes.
398. Pretty good.
Now, Sarah Lang's last year looked at how far into the season a hitter has made it past 400, and it was actually 2 years ago, since 2000. Luis was the most recent 2 years ago, and he stopped, and he never got above 400 again after June 24th of
Okay.
2 years ago. How long can Aaron Judge flirt with 400?
Flirt or be at 400?
Flirt. How long can he flirt
Like
with
when
400?
do we even stop taking a look at this? Is that what you're saying, basically?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. Tony, I'll let you. You're the expert on this stuff.
I mean, I don't know what really flirt means. So, like, is flirt like be at 390, 380? Is that flirting? Where we at?
I'll
What's flirting?
say 385. Like, is he above 385?
I gave him till June 24th.
Same. About the same. Yeah.
That'll I think he'll be able to do it up until then. But I think after that it starts to come down.
Chris?
Yeah, well, to not completely ride on Tony's guess, I'll say my birthday, which is my reminder to everybody that my birthday is June 22nd, 2 days before Tony says.
I was going to say, anyone who hasn't Wikipedia'd you
Yes, you can
recently
look it up.
has a
Yeah,
big question.
I was like a cliffhanger there for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
you gonna give us your birthday there, buddy?
Yeah, well, my birthday's certainly not October 1st. I don't think he's going to make it that long. I will give him the credit that he deserves to still be at 398. I thought he'd start slipping back by now.
Oh, I got you in my calendar on June 22nd.
There we go. Thank you, Tony Gwynn Jr. Appreciate it. But yeah, he's doing more than I thought because he's not a line drive hitter. I mean,
No,
he's hitting
he's
so
not.
many home runs, but he had a nice series in LA, hit a couple of there. But yeah, 360 would be a great season for somebody like Aaron Judge.
It would be.
And that's not even close to 400.
I
Nope.
think the last one like that, I mean, Bonds had like a 370 a year where he had, the homers and RBIs.
Mhm.
That's a remarkable year.
It is. It's unbelievable. Going to the National League East, the Atlanta Braves, after starting 0-7, still currently sit 4 games below 500 at 4th place in the NL East, 9.5 games behind the Mets, a half a game behind the Nationals. Will the Braves finally start to get it together this month with Acuna and at least a version of Spencer Strider back?
I think they will. I haven't given up on the Braves yet. I know that no team ever started 0-8, I don't think, and ever made the playoffs. But then again, the playoffs have only, expanded here the last few years. So there's more opportunities. I look at the National League, and I think the Cubs and Mets are where they're supposed to be. I think the Dodgers and Phillies are where they're supposed to be. And I think the Padres are where they're supposed to be. That leaves, to me, one spot. And the question is, do the Giants and Cardinals keep up what they've been doing, which I think has been a little surprising to most of us, or do they slip back and give the Braves a chance to catch them? And I think there's a long season to go. So I will say yes, although the Braves still are struggling with some injuries.
Yes.
I mean, they get one guy back, they lose 2 more. But I still, it's way too early to give up on that. The Braves, I think.
Johnny?
Anthony?
Yeah, that's the short answer, is that it's way too early to give up on the Braves, especially given they've shown a kind of that they can come back after kind of having a lackluster start to their season and string together a bunch of wins. So I think that it's too early at this point to predict. I think their problem is going to be this year is that the National League seems to be deeper in terms of who that 6th team is going, or that 3rd wild card or that 6th team is going to be, because St. Louis, as Chris mentioned, has been a surprise. They look like, and listen, I had them as a dark horse because of the young talent that they have that are, getting better. It seems like going from last year to this year. The Giants were a team I also felt pretty strongly about because of the additions and because of the direction of the front office and how they are allowing these guys to play. It really suits this roster. You don't have the kind of matchup team that you've had in the past. You got some dudes that are going to run out there every day. And so I say all that to say the Diamondbacks, I think, are a team you can't quite close the door on at this point. We'll see what happens with Corbin Burns and his MRI here today. He pulled himself out of a game yesterday.
Yeah, not good news.
The Nationals are a team that all of a sudden with the Padres, what do you call that? What kind of package will you call that? The stimulus package that they got,
Padres stimulus package.
They got
That's
for
a good one, Tony.
They're starting to. Those young dudes are starting to bud and grow and be, the players that people think. So I think the National League wild card outside of those 5 that you already named is going to be a really exciting race, especially if all those teams. I didn't even mention Cincinnati that is squarely in the mix of those teams too right now. So got all that happening. So it's going to be tough for ATL, but I think it's too early to count them out.
And also going back on the injury thing, Smith Shawver's done for the year now, probably going to miss next year as well.
Yep.
And Spencer Strider still does not look like the Spencer Strider of old.
That's part of the reason why you can't predict.
Yes.
Spencer Strider is coming off of Tommy John,
yep.
And is, I'm sure, working his way back. As is what's my man who just came off against us, had the homers? Acuna. Is Acuna, right? Like, he had a great start. I'm sure he's going to go through some growing pains where he's not right, but when that team's clicking on all cylinders, they're a good team. I think it's too early to count them out.
They also get Jerks and Profar back at the end of the month.
Yes.
If anybody's still paying attention to that,
right.
His suspension does end here soon, in 3 more weeks. God, that's a long suspension, isn't it? Like, we forgot about that he even exists, really,
And he won't be eligible for playoffs, but he can certainly help them in a playoff race down the stretch.
Yeah.
Going now, another big momentous point in the season is the All-Star game, which comes up at the in the middle of next month. Well, All-Star voting is going to be starting next week. Who do you guys think are going to be the breakout All-Star vote getters for this first round?
Ooh, boy, first
breakout All-Star,
like first round of voting, or
when the votes start coming out.
Some guys that we don't normally see on the All-Star team that are going to get some mentions.
That's tough. I'll
start with it can be anybody, right? I don't have to just do Padres.
No, anyone.
Okay. How about Jacob Wilson? Shortstop for the A's. I mean, I don't know, 900 OPS. He's hitting 357. He's got 7 homers now. I didn't know he had that many. That's a name nobody knows about. We saw him, and he looked great against us a while ago. I'll throw that name out. I mean, you're looking for people that, like, people don't know who they are.
Like that would most likely that have had a breakout year that could have a serious shot at making the All-Star team this year.
He's on my list.
I think there's one right here in San Diego. Nick Pivetta. He could have he's had a terrific start to his season, and for a minute there he was leading the way in wins, and so I think that's slowed down a little bit, but nonetheless he's thrown the ball tremendously well, and I can't think of another time in which he's been this good and had a chance to be kind of a breakout kind of all-star for sure.
He deserves definitely a look. I'll give you another guy that I think's finally had a breakout season for the Cubs. This isn't digging up anything, but Seiya Suzuki, while Pete Crow Armstrong gets all of the attention, and he deserves it. Pete Crow Armstrong is a hell of a player. Right.
Star right there.
He's going 40-40 potentially this year, but Suzuki's leading the National League in RBIs. He's got 52. PCA's got 51.
52.
Yeah, but Suzuki's been a nice breakout. And it's interesting. Kyle Tucker got all the money, and he's having a really good year, but these other 2 guys are doing better than him. That's a great outfield, by the way. Suzuki, PCA, and Tucker. Wow. all three.
That's
guys.
also probably why they're sitting at 37 and 22.
That doesn't hurt.
Because you got those dudes on top of
All
Tucker
three of those
having
guys.
having a year.
Yeah. How about a name that the Padre fans don't want to hear? James Wood. Yee.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
952 OPS, 16
Stimulus.
homers. Man, that's annoying.
But piggybacking off of what you guys were just saying about Seiya Suzuki and PCA, and are the Cubs secretly the best team in the National League?
Oh, that's the next question.
Yeah, that is the next question.
Oh, all right. I'll let you handle that or take first crack, Tony, on the Cubs. What do you think?
I think they might be right now. I mean, the Dodgers and the Padres aren't healthy, right? First of all, they have the best record in the National League.
Right.
So
I think they're tied with the Mets right now.
We could just
Tied.
start with that fact alone.
Yes.
But they're healthy. Are they healthier than the other two teams? They certainly have played both teams extremely tough in their matchups with them. And I think they've proven, I think the Padres, they took 2 of 3, they lost 2 of 3. They split their series with them. I think the Dodgers might have did the same, maybe even a little bit worse. So I would say right now, if it's between those three, I mean, Philly's up there too, though. Yeah, I haven't seen them yet. They're having they got a really good team there. The Mets are obviously one of those teams too. I'm gonna say the Cubs right now.
Currently seated number 1 in the National League.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
won't take the Cubs. I will say that they have the best record right now for sure, and they deserve whatever they're getting. Offensively, there might be for sure the best team, I think, in the National League, even better than the Phillies offensively. But they don't have the pitching, I don't think, to keep up with the likes of Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez on the Phillies. The Mets, I think, have better starting pitching. I know the Padres do when they're healthy. Are you ready to, lynch your season to Jameson Taillon and Matthew Boyd and Ben Brown? They're not bad. Brown, he's young. He's got a 5.5 ERA.
Well, we don't have to lynch our season to him because the question is right now.
Okay. Well, what was the question, Frank? Give me the question.
Are the Cubs currently the best team in the National League?
Yes, but ask me again tomorrow.
Okay.
There's my answer. They also don't have a great closer yet.
No.
Presley's been displaced by Daniel Palencia, who's done well, 5 for 5. But let's see how that holds up. The Cubs pitching is a question mark. It's a long season. Can they keep hitting like this?
That, or as my uncle would call him, Ryan Stressley. We've only got time for one more question here before we hit the top of the hour break. With Shohei Ohtani hitting the way he's hitting and also getting ready to try to get back into the Dodgers starting rotation, will Ohtani stay on his 60 home run pace while ramping himself up to pitch?
I don't see why not.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he's ramping himself up the pitch right now, right? And he's homering almost every game. So, yeah, I think he will keep on 60. I've been sold on this guy. I'm not going to bet against him. I mean, is he going to sit out any games? Is he going to sit out any games while he ramps up the pitch?
He's going to sit out games after he pitches, though. I think that's the deal. He's going to pitch, and then he's going to sit out the next game to rest before he goes in as the DH for 3 days.
He'll find a bat somewhere. Dave Robertson's stupid. I don't know. I think he can make 60. Why not? Tony?
Oh, no, I have my doubts.
He's superhuman, this guy, though.
He is, but he's only been a hitter the last however many years. You go out and throw 7 shutty, and then the next day, if you think he's going to be in the lineup the next day, I mean, how much of your focus, you get to focus solely on hitting, not have to worry about pitching. Now you gotta have hitters' game plans. You got all that. I just think that's a lot.
Well, has it changed in the sense that he is now potentially going to be pitching well before September?
That's the thought.
He's supposed to be pitching right after the All-Star break is what it sounded like.
All right. Well, the last time he was pitching for the Angels, like when was the last consistent season he had pitching? would you say?
Probably his second.
The year before he was to become a free agent.
Yes, his second to last year. with the
23,
Angels.
2023, 2022. I mean, the reason I bring it up is because those last 3 seasons with the Angels, when I think he was pitching, he finished with 46, 34, and 44 home runs. So still pretty
That's
good.
not 60 though.
I know, but you're going to make it this year, Tony. You mark my words.
I hope he does.
I hope he does. I hope he doesn't. That's might be why I'm predicting it.
Touche.
All right. Daily Gambit's coming up next. Gwynn and Chris, we got an hour in the books. Tony's in San Francisco. That's where the Padres are. We should be getting a lineup here in short order. Pass that along to you when it comes in. And Gwynn and Chris continues.
Hour number 2 here on Gwynn and Chris. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Frank Marchese filling in for Matt Scraby, and just kind of talking some baseball in general in that last segment. We got a little Daily Gambit headed your way. Still currently waiting for lineups. At least I haven't seen one. Have you guys seen one yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. Mike Schilt normally calls me just before he calls you with the lineup, Tony. So as soon as I get it.
Is that right?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to Mike Schilt since last playoffs when he wasn't. Well, he made fun of my question. I think it was. Not that I forgot. Not that I don't remember it.
Refresh my memory on this one.
I don't know. I think I asked him what his pitching plans were going forward, and he said, "I'm not going to tell you that. Why are you even asking?" I think that's what it was. Something like that. Anyway, yes, I miss Mike. I'm sure he misses me.
Yes, we'll get Mike.
He was getting a little agitated. I want to say agitated is the wrong word. Was everybody getting a little, though, just frustrated with the strike zone of the home plate umpire yesterday?
Oh, yes. My man Malachi was not having a great day behind.
He was not having a great day back there.
And it was both sides, but it was nonetheless, it was still frustrating, even though it was both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He called one that was about a baseball off. He wouldn't call one that was like on the corner. He called one that was like 3 baseballs in. He was way off all day long. It was inconsistent.
Agreed. Yeah. And I thought that I'm always on Vasquez's case for walks, but I'm telling you, he was getting a little squeezed there. For sure. I got to be honest with you. I'm not blaming Vasquez yesterday. I'm really not. I was
about to say that was to me that looked and felt different than the other starts in which he walked too many guys. You know what I'm saying?
He made a terrible pitch to McCutchen. I can't take that back. No, I mean, he hung that curve, but yeah, the walks I didn't blame him for yesterday. All right, so I wasn't alone there.
Stephen Kolick, Logan Webb face off here tonight. I believe it's a what's today? Today's Monday?
I believe so, Tony.
Today is Monday. Never mind. I'm thinking little series ahead. We got a Roku, I think, on Friday game against Milwaukee.
What?
I think there's a
Roku.
Sunday one. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I think there's a Saturday. I think 2 of those games are national implicated games, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. I love the national TV. Well, I like to watch you and Donnie, by the way. Good job over the weekend.
Thank you.
And I got to say this. One thing that you both do, Mark does the same thing. But you guys do a hell of a job of calling the game and not getting, not slipping down the rabbit hole when the team is down 4-1 in the 6th inning and it looks like they're going to lose again.
Yeah.
You guys somehow, they show a shot of you in the booth. You guys are laughing and smiling, looking at the Tatis bobblehead. And I'm like, what are you guys laughing about? We're losing 4-1.
I'm sure you're not the only one saying that.
Right.
Kind of thing,
yeah, I know. But you guys do a good job of keeping it alive.
I'm becoming more comfortable on, pointing out things when I see it, as opposed to just kind of going with the flow. Like there's a point where O'Neal Cruz, he made a nice play, took a line drive away from somebody in the left center field gap, and I kind of caught he wasn't ready. Like his right foot, he got set, and his right foot was still in the air as the ball was hit. And so he had to wait until that foot planted and took off. And like pointing those kind of things out is starting to become a little bit more comfortable to me now.
Well, that and
thank you for the compliment, sir.
You're welcome. O'Neal Cruz, by the way, his athleticism can make up for a lot of stuff.
His athleticism did make up for a lot of stuff.
I don't know how he got over there to that. Well, you're the one in left center that he backhanded. Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he had no chance when that ball was hit.
When I tell you that I watched, and I have a good buddy that's their hitting coach, that I pointed out. He got ready on multiple occasions as a center fielder, and how you got the kind of left, right, ready. I'm ready. He's going left, step right. I'm ready. He stepped left in the ball, and his right foot was still in the air, and I can't remember who hit that ball. It was a bullet in the left center, and his height and his speed were able to catch it. Now, if he's like 6 foot, that ball gets over his head. It's in the gap. There's nothing he could do about it. But considering he's 6'7" or whatever he is, man.
No kidding.
That height is a major weapon.
The other thing I noticed about O'Neal Cruz over the weekend.
He got a good eye too around the plate. Too,
yes,
by the way.
He doesn't swing at bad pitches, but he doesn't even get ready to run when he's standing at first base. If you're the pitcher and you look over, you're like, he's not going anywhere. He's not even ready.
Right.
And then the next thing you throw the pitch and he's at second base. And you're like, well, how did that happen?
96%, 97%, something like that is crazy.
I know.
All right, let's get to this Daily Gambit.
Yep.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is a mortal lock.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Daily Gambit. Everybody gamble responsibly. Look, this whole segment is honestly about being responsible with this. We have fun picking the games. Don't do stupid stuff out there with your money and throw it away on gambling. Frank and I, over the weekend, Frank was 4-2. I was 3-3. Frank, you get nothing for it.
What bets did I make?
I'm not going through them all.
I don't even remember.
I'll tell you one of the ones you won. You picked Indiana -4 against your Knicks.
Oh, that's right. I did do that.
Yes, you did.
That was one of them.
All right.
Had the nerve to wear a New York shirt the next following day in here right now. Come on.
I guess the only
Terrible.
black shirt I had that didn't look like a tarp over me.
You are not a representative of the Knicks anymore after
you've given up completely
grandstanding
on them.
the other day.
Okay.
Not happy with you, Frank.
Let's talk about grandstanding. That was on Friday.
Well, you wanted to grandstand again today, but you didn't get the opportunity. There are two bets that are being made, apparently, Tony, and they're breaking the backs of sports books everywhere.
Uh-oh.
One of them is for people to bet on the money line against the Rockies. And this is like, stealing money, and people are stealing the money. They're betting against the Rockies every night.
Shout out to the people winning. Good for y'all.
Yeah. I mean, you
Take them
might
for
as well.
everything you can.
Right. Keep doing it. Money line against the Rockies. I mean, they've lost 50 of 59 games. You didn't get anything more sure than that. The other thing that the people are betting on, and I don't mean to be mean, I'm just reporting facts. People are betting everything they have whenever the Chicago Sky women's WNBA team plays. They're betting everything that Angel Reese will miss her first shot. And
Field goal
apparently they're
percentage is not
cashing
that
in.
good, huh?
She's like in the 20s.
Ah.
Yeah, she can't. Angel can rebound, but her shooting touch has deserted her. And people are taking advantage of that. All right, with that said, tonight's first wager of the night, Miami Marlins -1.5 against the Rockies. In Miami, the Rockies are now up to 22 consecutive series that they've lost, going back to last year. I'll take the Marlins. I mean, until further notice. I see no reason not to. Tony, what do you want to do?
I'm taking the Marlins. They got the better team.
Yes, they do. Frank, you going to give a little love to the Rocks tonight?
Do we just for the jokes? Do we take the Rockies because it's a 1.5 and they lose
they
by
could
one
lose by
tonight?
one. They could lose by one. That's possible, but they will lose.
That'll make you look even smarter.
Yeah.
Buddy.
You gonna do it, Frank?
No,
Or
God,
risk it?
no. I'm taking the
you're not
Marlins.
doing it. Okay. By the way, Rockies, since they fired Bud Black, now 2-17. So please tell me that was the problem.
Let's keep tab of that. Let's keep tab.
Oh, well, it's easy to keep tabs.
Yeah, the internet is already.
They are, right. They've won 2 and they've lost the rest. So San Diego, San Francisco. That'd be Padres Giants. 7.5 runs tonight. Up where you are, Tony. How's the weather in San Fran? It's always worth a question.
I'll give you a guess. How do you think it is?
Windy?
Yes.
Cold?
Windy, chilly.
Chilly?
Sun's out. It makes you think
it's warm, but it's not.
Beautiful. Matter of fact, let me turn my computer around and see if I can show you the beauty.
All right, let me see. Wow, that's a great view. I will say that, Tony. That's
Right?
beautiful.
It gives all of the kind of feels of
Yes.
oh, great day.
Can you turn it
beautiful.
back around? Because when you brought it back, we just got the grimace on Dave Marcus's face. And I kind of like the view of San Francisco Bay better than the grimace
Here it
there.
is for
There
you
we
one more
go.
time.
All right.
Beautiful
Very
thing. I have my jacket. I have my beanie.
Yeah, you're ready.
I'm ready.
7.5 runs.
7.5.
What do you got?
I think it's going to be under.
Frank?
I'm going under as well because Kolik's ERA is up at 4.11, but that was really just one bad start.
Yeah.
He's been incredible since. I'm going to go under also.
Under seems like the play here, but I say the Padres are just due. Like one of these games. I'm going to go over. Dodgers Mets tonight. That's a good matchup in LA.
Yes,
Frank
it is.
will be locked into that, I'm sure. Probably betting on the Dodgers.
I'll be locked into moving is what I'll be.
All right, I'll let you have a chance, Frank. Dodgers -1.5. Are you betting against your own team again? Dodgers are favored with Dustin May on the mound against Paul Blackburn making a season debut for New York.
And that's the only reason why I would even consider it. But May has had issues. I'm taking the Mets.
Gotta take the Mets. Come on, Frank. Soto's heating up, Frank.
Blackburn's been good down at Syracuse. I'll take the Mets.
I'll take the Mets.
Lineups for that game are already out.
Did you just say Blackburn's been good down in Syracuse?
Yeah, he
Is that
follows
what you
his
said?
team
Yeah.
closer than most. Yeah, right. How do
Okay,
you
fair
even know
enough.
that?
I'm gonna take the Mets too on this.
All three on the Mets this time. All right, your guy Blackburn, 3.5 strikeouts in his season debut. Frank, I say under because I don't think he'll be in the game very long.
Yeah, I'm going under as well on that.
You jumped your turn, but that's okay. Tony,
Sorry.
what do you want? 3.5 Ks.
It's gonna be under.
Under. We got a little French Open tennis going, guys. We've reached the quarterfinals, and
now we
Roland
get some
Garros.
bets here.
Yes, and we have a pretty interesting match tomorrow. The number 2 seed, Carlos Alcaraz, against the American Tommy Paul in the quarterfinals. Paul is the 12th seed. He's a good player, but Alcaraz is a 2 seed and favored by 7.5 games. That's quite a few. If he wins 6-3, 6-3, 6-3, I guess that'd be 9. He'd get over, but that's hard to win like that. Tony, what do you want? 7.5 games.
Who's favorite?
Alcaraz is easily
Alcaraz
favored.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Alcaraz.
Alcaraz. Frank. Sorry.
Brock in the chat saying I need to step out of my comfort zone. Well, I'm stepping way out of my comfort zone. I know next to nothing about tennis.
You're not a good tennis guy?
I will go with Alcaraz as well,
right.
just because that's the one name I heard you say.
Well, he's good. But Tommy Paul's a really good American guy, and I'm gonna go USA there. All right, tonight in the college world or the regionals, college baseball, you got a chance for a tremendous upset. I don't know that it'll happen.
There's already been 2.
There's been a few, yes. Vanderbilt, Texas, 1 and 2 seeds have been knocked out. Tonight, LSU is the 6th seed. They're at home. They're playing Little Rock. Now, that is actually a team, Little Rock, Arkansas Little Rock. Yeah. Little Rock is under 500 this year. But if they win, Little Rock goes to the regionals and knocks LSU out. To that extent, LSU's favored by 5.5 runs. That's a lot for one game. Frank, what do you think? LSU? Or are you taking the upstart Little Rock?
I'm going with the little team from Arkansas. Let's go with Little Rock.
What a guy. I'm not. LSU's going to... how much pitching can poor Little Rock have left by the end of a regional? I'll take LSU. 5.5 runs, Tony.
Feels like the year of the little guy.
You're
I'm
going
taking
with it, huh?
Little Rock.
Little Rock. All right. And one more. The Women's College World Series. Texas, by the way, earlier today qualified for the championship round. Texas will face either Oklahoma or Texas Tech in the finals. And they play tonight. Oklahoma's got to win 2 games. It's a double elimination. Texas Tech only needs to win 1. But Oklahoma is the 4-time defending NCAA champion. So Oklahoma's favored in the first game by 1.5 runs.
And they don't have to win 1?
No, they have to win. They have to win that one, and then they'd have to win another one after that. But we can only bet on the first one because we don't know that the second one will be played. But I will say Oklahoma wins at least the first game. I'll give the 1.5 runs. Tony, Texas Tech, red
Texas
Raider.
Tech.
Guns up, says Tony.
Guns up, baby.
Yeah, I don't really like guns, but I do like the saying guns up. So
I'll take Texas Tech as well.
wow, you guys
It's
are going
two
against the national champ?
To win 2 games is
Well, they
harder
don't have to
than
win
winning
one here. You're not betting on them to win both. You're just betting on the one game. Still want Texas?
Yeah, I'll still take Texas.
You got them. All right, there's our daily gambit today. North Carolina is about to advance. There's 6 elimination games in the baseball today. North Carolina leads Oklahoma 11-3 in the 9th inning. So it looks like the Tar Heels will advance. I think that's the team that both Tony and I picked to win it all.
I think it is too, but we got to get to break. So
yeah,
when we come back, San Diego FC back on track against Austin FC. Had a nice little victory. We'll talk a little bit about it on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris.
Well, I don't know the name of it anymore. Oracle Park?
That is correct.
Yeah, they change them often now.
They do. In your defense, they definitely
yes,
change
I would
them
still like. This is how I think of ballparks, but I still think they play in Candlestick Park, which is that's a long time ago.
Not the case anymore.
Yeah, but those were the fun old days before teams started to make money that they don't really need by selling the names of their ballparks. So good for those teams. Giants and Padres tonight with Logan Webb. Always good against the Padres. Always good in Oracle Park. I think he's got an ERA under 2.5 there at home this year. So
yeah,
Padres will have their work cut out for them. And we're still awaiting the Padres lineup. The Giants lineup has been released.
It has indeed.
Yes. Ramos is the new leadoff guy, Helio Ramos, who's been hot of late. And Jung-Hoo Lee, Wilmer Flores. Flores is having a great year. I wonder if he'll sneak on the all-star team based on, his first half. And Chapman and Yaz and Adames. Anyway, that's pretty much what Stephen Kolek will be looking at tonight. Still waiting on a Padre lineup. SDFC wins again. Going right back to work, Frank, after their 5-game unbeaten streak had been snapped in a loss to the Seattle Sounders. They bounced back with a 2-0 victory over Austin FC. They're now 9-5 with 3 draws. They're sitting in second place.
Yeah,
I like it. I mean, this is really good for. I know people are saying, an expansion, in the soccer. St. Louis did it a few years ago. Doesn't matter to me. You're still doing this as an expansion franchise. That means you've made a lot of really smart decisions all the way around. And I really like their coach. Mikey Veras has been.
He seems like the perfect coach for San Diego.
I agree. We had him on before the season. Now we got to work on it. Do we have a producer of the show anymore? Or is he out? Where'd he go? Where's that guy? Maybe we can work on getting Mikey Veras back on the show. I'd like to catch up with Mikey.
It might be a good idea before he's too popular to get back on here.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? They keep winning like this.
Yes, he may
it's
tell us
tough to get him on.
Yeah, but really good. And the thing that Frank was excited about, and I think it's fair to say, Padres are home while SDFC's playing this game. Still 27,000 down there at the match. These soccer fans have been showing out. Can't argue with that. They're there.
Soccer, we've always known soccer was big here. I think it has substantially grown when that conversation first started, which was when they were building Snapdragon. And I think it's only grown since that point. The Wave's success early, I think, has helped with that. And then again, if San Diego FC keeps this up, this would be the second time an expansion soccer team has come here in San Diego and had a terrific first season that kind of set the stage for what you hope is a consistent fan base moving forward. Because that's such a good point. Frank, Padres playing, that's the hottest ticket in town. There's no question about that.
And
to have 27,000 people show up, that speaks highly of what SDFC has done.
Yeah, and the last time that they both were conflicting, the Padres were here and San Diego FC were here, that place was empty. Like there was next to nobody there.
I did not know that.
Which was
I thought they've drawn well every game.
That was the only game.
That was the one exception.
That was the one exception they have not drawn, and it makes total sense. Baseball town, there's so much baseball, especially here on this station, that you have that ability to kind of get lost as the Padres are here. That's the more attractive thing compared to the new thing at Snapdragon, which is still a pain in the neck to get into and out of.
Snapdragon?
Yeah.
You can park it where I live, Frank. I'll shuttle you down there.
That would be amazing. We're close to
the Snapdragon there.
But to see 27,000 strong
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
against Austin FC, which is neither here nor there. They're also
Right,
a
but
new.
who would
they're
go
also
to-
a new team.
The point being, Austin FC is not the draw here.
No,
Nobody's going in because the recognizable opponent name.
no,
Right,
exactly.
right,
And
right.
it's San Diego FC, and I think it's something that brings up a point that if the Padres kind of fall into a lull this summer where they start struggling, playing 500 baseball, that could be the perfect opportunity for San
Yes,
Diego
well, let's not
FC to
root
get
for
some
that, though.
eyes.
Don't bring that up.
Oh no,
Frank.
I'm just saying that could be the perfect opportunity to get some eyes for San Diego FC and pack that place out on a routine, normal basis.
But I think that
from
they're getting
guys
a
that
lot
would
of
normally
eyes.
watch.
Are they not? Do you think it's the same 27,000 people are going, or do you think everybody's experiencing this now?
No, and that's what I'm saying.
I get the
If-
feel that they are. People are going, want to see what it's about.
I'm saying if the Padres do end up falling into some sort of a slump, that could make people go on a Saturday night. I was going to go to the Padre game. Maybe I'll go to Snapdragon instead.
We'll see. I think I'm not sure that they're there yet. Where
No.
the Padres could go into a little bit of a slump, and people would all of a sudden not want to go to that thing. Remember, Petco has been like a venue that everybody was going to even before the team was as good as they are now. And so, I think we'll see. They're certainly off to a great start, and that's all that I think ultimately that matters. Having another team, professional team here in San Diego, especially at the MLS level, doing well. That's awesome.
Yeah, Mikey Veras, coach of the year for sure, without even looking at the rest of the coaches.
I was about to say, do you know who the other candidates
No, but
are?
I mean,
No.
you're the expansion team and you're in second place, 2 points out. That's
Tough
enough
to
to
argue
win coach
against
of the
it.
year right there, I would think.
Tough to argue against it for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you would say theoretically they're 8 points out because Vancouver has
Get
2
out of
games.
here, Frank.
Vancouver has 2 games in hand. That's theoretically 6 more
It's not
points. So it's 8.
theoretically anything. And here's first of all, they haven't won those games. Secondly, the championship of the West still runs through Snapdragon Stadium because Vancouver's got to come here next month, and Tony Gwynn Jr. is making plans to go to the match.
And that's another thing too. Saturday, this Saturday is going to be your last chance to see them at Snapdragon Stadium for a while because they're playing 3 road games this month. They're playing America on Saturday, then it's 3 road games, and they're back here for the first time on July 5th.
All right. Thank you, Frank, for the soccer update. Your check is in the mail. More Gwynn and Chris coming up with, back to some Padre talk because we have pen pals and you have questions. We'll try to answer when Gwynn and Chris resumes.
On the ones and twos, and Padres have released their lineup, and it looks like this today. Toddy, Arise, Machado, Merrill, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Wade, Iglesias, Diaz for the Pods.
Shout out to Diaz. Really
good
big
pitch at
hit
AB
yesterday that they needed.
For sure.
2 on, you're still down by 2 at that time.
After he fell behind, too.
And he fell behind 0-2, I think, or 1-2 at least. Yeah, that was a big hit, kind of triggered that inning. And, Padres, that was a timely hit from Diaz. The other note on the lineup, you probably noticed Gavin Sheets is not in it. We didn't expect him to be, but he is on the trip. So he will not be in there tonight. Maybe he could pinch hit. I doubt it, though. Sounded like, according to
we'll hear
Schilt,
from Mike Schilt at I think 4:30ish,
4:15, 4:30. Yeah,
4:15, 4:30.
We'll get the update a little bit, but he keeps telling us that even though the concussion protocol, I think he's past all of that. It's mostly hip, elbow, chin, knee. Anyway, he hit a lot of different body parts.
I'm sure all of that doesn't feel good today.
No. Just think though that the NFL, there's collisions like that on every play.
That's
and these guys keep playing. It's incredible.
Right.
So anyway. Thanks to you, Gavin, for giving it a shot out there.
Let's get to some Daily Gambit. We need to check some traffic first.
We have a little traffic. I think we have a Padre pen pal.
Yeah, we do have traffic. We did the Daily Gambit already.
Yep.
Did I say Daily Gambit? I meant Padres pen pal. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was just
So we'll hit traffic right now.
It was an honest mistake, Frank.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, Frank. I don't know. Being pretty critical over there.
Jog on, both of you.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware at 10th and University. Got a number of problems here, guys. One of them is a collision on southbound 5 right before Imperial. So the fast lane blocked. Also a collision on the Cornell Bridge heading off the island just past the old toll plaza. 2 left lanes blocked. Looks like a motorcycle involved in that. Eastbound 8 Mission Gorge off-ramp. Got a stalled vehicle. We also have a stall on South 163 just before Genesee. Appears to be in middle lanes, and got this collision on the Palm Avenue on-ramp to northbound 805. Traffic is brought to you by the grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware. Purchase a grill this week and your first cookout is free with 12 burgers and 12 franks courtesy of Omaha Steaks. That's the grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware at 10th and University. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time to ask the experts, Padres fans.
I was hoping maybe you can bring a little insight into it.
Write us, tweet us, Facebook us, send a carrier pigeon for Chris. He thinks they're cute. Padres Pen Pals begins
hurt the pelota big time.
now on 97.3 The Fan.
Full disclosure here, this is the first time I've ever done Padres Pen Pals.
Well, you're doing well. Good start.
It's
Off to a good start. Don't mess it up.
It's a fantastic bet. I have not heard that. I didn't know you thought that about carrier pigeons. That's really nice.
He didn't check with me on that. Before you get to the Pen Pals, just a quick, interesting story that's going with the Seattle number 51. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Tony, did you see this? Is it in the Big Five? I don't want to.
No, it's not in the Big Five.
Randy Johnson's number is going to be retired by the Mariners. Finally, right? 30 years after he pitched a no-hitter there. And
way too long.
Well after his career is over. The interesting thing is that he retired left the Mariners in 98. So, yeah, we're looking at almost 30 years since they retired his number. But in between, another pretty good player wore number 51 for the Mariners for 11 years, that being Ichiro. So I don't know exactly what they're doing here. I think they're retiring the number for Randy Johnson, but Ichiro should be just about the same mention, should he not? It's weird. I don't know. Just something I thought of. Maybe I'm the only one that cares about numbers.
I mean, I don't think nobody probably has picked up on that. That's actually happening. It's probably why they're not talking about it. I know I hadn't. I would surmise that when Ichiro's time to be retired, they will retire 51 again.
Oh,
I would assume.
Just 51 covers. Okay, retire it twice.
I mean, Randy was there. They made the decision to retire him. So yeah, they're going to have to retire it twice.
I guess it's not the only team. 7 other numbers have been retired twice.
Okay, there you go.
So all right.
So Randy will get it in 2025, and Ichiro will get it retired again in whatever that is, that date they decide.
This just a suggestion. Could they have a co-ceremony? Do they not? Why not?
I think
retire it once.
Well, they can't really do Ichiro's yet, right? I mean, I guess they could. He's about to go into the Hall of Fame. I mean, did it usually done? I don't know. It's just a problem I didn't know that we had until right now.
That's a big problem. This is right up there, with.
I mean, it's 5 years for you to get is before you're eligible after you retire to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Usually numbers get retired like long after the career is done. Usually, I'm not saying that there aren't cases where it's done. I don't know. This is the first time in a while. At least I know that it's a deal.
Go ahead, Frank. Sorry to interrupt the beginning.
No, you're
Padre Pen Pals.
No, you're fine. I have 5 questions here.
All right. Let's hit them.
We have heard about the recent struggles on and off the field that Fernando Tatis Jr. has had recently. Fernando is only hitting .214 in his last 30 games. That was as of Saturday, I believe. And we've seen and heard about how he hasn't felt like himself off the field. He's earned the right to be able to play his way out of this funk. But, Tony, when will it be time to officially really start worrying about Fernando?
First of all, what is it that he's going through off the field?
Yeah, you said off the field.
The way he was sitting in the clubhouse, the way he said he hasn't felt like himself when he's playing, and just the energy hasn't seemed to have been there for him.
That's all Fugazi. That's not a real
Fugazi,
thing.
Frank. Fugazi.
Yeah. In terms of when we should I so love the body language experts out there. Those are like my new favorite people. Those are my new friends. Yeah. The body language experts. I would say that here's the deal. Even if it is he continues to do this, is there a point that you say, all right, take him out of the lineup, put so-and-so in?
like I said, I think he's earned that right to stay in. He's earned the right to play out
My
of it.
point is, I don't even when they ask the question, when is it time to worry? I mean, my answer would be, even when it's time to worry, he's still going to be run out there every day or as long as he's healthy. So, yeah, when you should start worrying, I don't know. He's still, hitting 265. You got 13 homers, 28 RBIs. I don't know. I don't know the answer to when you start to worry. Maybe, I guess if we're going to have my answer, give you an answer, like after the All-Star break.
Chris?
Yeah. I got to totally agree with Tony here. It's a question that a fan would ask, but it's a ridiculous question because he could go 0 for his next 50, I think, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be in right field. Like, he's the right fielder, and that's not going to change. And so he's not going to go for 50. He's struggling, but a 214 month is not unheard of in Major League Baseball for any hitter, excluding maybe the likes of Tony's dad. Everybody hits 200 for a month. Not a big deal. So, get over it out there, people.
Not 240.
No, I said 214.
Oh, okay.
But I said 214 for a month, right?
We've moved on from the subject, but I got a text from a friend of the show, John Howard. Okay. He said, I'm not positive, but I believe 28 in football for the San Diego State Aztecs is also both retired for Marshall Faulk and for Willie Buchanan.
Oh,
there you go.
So, thank you, John Howard.
There it is. Boom.
Well, there goes. All right.
Back to our other.
No, I'm
argument
glad we ducked that in. Yeah, this is a non-issue question. Fernando's not going anywhere no matter what.
It's not
happens.
like he is. I don't know. Like, that's a question you can ask about, like, Gavin, right?
Hmm.
Like, if he starts to struggle and it gets long, like how long? Like, cool. That's the one that you can have. Like, but Toddy, he's like Manny or like Jackson. They could probably struggle the whole season. They're going to be run out there every day.
And he's absolutely earned that right.
For sure.
All right. We've seen a lot of turnover in the Padres bullpen lately, whether because of guys not playing well or getting them out to get fresh arms in. We're finally starting to get into divisional play, and this is the worst the bullpen has looked the entire season. Do you think the bullpen can get it righted for this upcoming stretch, Chris?
Yes. They got it righted yesterday at 5 1/3 shutties. Look, the back end of the bullpen has not been that responsible for the struggles. No. Suarez has been lights out, all except for the one game. And, I mean, come on, you got to give everybody one game. Jason Adams been everything you could want except for one game. Estrada and Mortejon, 7th inning combo. Maybe not as automatic, but still pretty good. Peralta, Matsui, those are the guys that have struggled a little. So to me, your bullpen, what I want is a lead in the 5th, 6th inning, and I want to feel like I'm going to win the game. And I still feel that way with the Padre bullpen. There's no guarantee, but yeah, I think their bullpen's fine. The numbers don't say it, though. Agreed with that.
Yes, of course they can get it back. They've already got it. I mean, I think you guys kind of pointed it out already. They had a rough stretch. Everybody had a rough stretch or had at least one little bad, blip in the radar in that one beginning stretch of May. And then after that, the bullpen issues have been really, the guys before the back end of the bullpen. And so, I think they'll be fine. I think a guy like David Morgan is going to get more opportunity because, you want to take the load off of those back end guys. He seems to have the kind of stuff that can be able to buy some innings for
and he throws 99 miles an hour. He throws hard.
Bragley is another arm guy is going to get some opportunity. So listen, it wasn't that long ago. Jeremiah Estrada was kind of a no name, and then all of a sudden you're like, who is this guy? Yeah. And all of a sudden he went from like mop up to like 5th, 6th, now 7th inning in terms of the type of high leverage inning he's pitching. So my point is you need to see these other guys. That's the whole point. You're going to have to create someone, find out who's going to be capable of stepping in those roles, and this is a great opportunity for them.
All right.
Bullpen's still a strength of this team. Let's
No,
make no mistake.
I agree as well.
All right.
Michael King's injury definitely hurts the Padres in the immediate, but could it help them in the long run? With King having injuries in his recent past and his contract coming up this season, Tony, is there a chance that this could drop his price, not only to make him more affordable, but make it more affordable to sign him and Dylan Cease this offseason?
I don't think so, unfortunately. I think because that'll all depend on what everybody else is offering out there, right? I mean, if
it only takes one team to offer him a lot of money,
all of a sudden the price is where it is, and so. And plus, I think he's going to come back and he's going to pitch well anyway, so it's all going to be a moot point. But even if it does have an impact in terms of him getting back and pitching well, I don't know that it's going to have an impact when it comes to actual being a free agent. He's done enough in the time that he has been given to show that it would be worth it. Now, they've already told us there was nothing structural, so it wouldn't be like they would look at him and be like, "Oh man, we don't know about this." So, I think this, I don't think it's gonna work against them. I don't.
Chris?
Yeah. And you know what, this letter irks me just a little, because there are people out there that are like, oh, good, Michael King's hurt. We'll have a better chance to sign him next year. Like, really? That's what you're thinking about? I'm thinking about getting him in and starting to pitch shutouts again. This is now. But a lot of people seem to play the game for next year already. It's June 2nd. Let's try to do something this year.
Fans will be fans.
I know they will, but I'm trying to get them focused.
Manny Machado has had an incredible year so far. He's still making things look easy in the field and has hit over 300 all season. He hasn't had the power numbers that we hope for, but he is still contributing in big ways where others aren't. Chris, if he stays reasonably healthy and the Padres make the playoffs, could 2025 be an MVP year for Manny Machado?
Look, he's finished second in his career. He's finished third. He's finished fourth. He's finished fifth.
It's only one more place to go.
Right. But I would say right now he's not one of the top candidates. That's just, because the power number. If you don't have 37 home runs, they're not going to even think about you, no matter, or regardless of how valuable we know he is to this team. So I'd say right now it's a long shot, unless he, goes crazy Manny the second half.
Tony?
I'm trying to go back and find out, because if I'm not mistaken, Manny is on the same pace for homers this year as he was last year.
It's been more or less, he is. They've looked down, but they really shot up in the second half of the year.
That's typically how his years go. I would say that, I think, typically for Manny, he starts to make his run in like July, August. That's when he makes his move in terms of whether the year he finished second, the year he finished second, the year he finished third, those were all runs in like the summer months where he was like unbelievably hot. And so the fact that he has started off so well, which is something typically Manny does not start this well offensively. If he keeps up his same deal come July, August, we're going to be talking about him being in that conversation for sure.
By the way, just a few more feet and we could have got our first Grand Slam of the year yesterday. I know one person who thought it was Luis Arraez on second base. Did you see when the ball was hit, Tony? I don't know if you caught it. Arraez was on second base when that ball was hit by Manny to the warning track. I didn't notice it.
Rise,
both hands in the air, just like, yes! Didn't quite make it, but he thought it was gone, short. I'm pretty sure, when it was hit,
Now, I haven't watched every single game. Have they hit a 3-run home run yet this year? They have hit a 3.
But still no Grand Slams.
All right, really quick, left field and catcher have been two big problems for the Padres this season. Ethan Salas waiting in the wings makes the catcher situation a little bit easier to take, but there is nothing in left field, either via trade or free agency. disregarding Duran, who do you think is an affordable option for the Padres in left field that makes sense, Tony?
I think Andrew McCutchen could play left field for the Padres.
I thought about you when he slugged a couple of homers this week.
For that short little period of time, I think he could do it. I really do. And I think his bat is good enough. I think he's kind of like the perfect fit in that Padre lineup. Assuming he can play left.
Chris?
I'm with Frank. I'm with you, Frank, but I'm also with Tony. I like
physically and spiritually.
Yes, I'm with you, Frank. No matter what.
I think that one won't cost you as much either to get him.
The Pirates may not even know he's gone. I mean, the Pirates, they don't pay too close of attention over there. So
they don't seem to pay close attention at all.
Not much.
They might just be able to just take him. Have him put on put on our uniform. You'd be
As a
good.
matter of fact, he should have just flown with the team to San Francisco last night. They were
out. See if they would notice him.
Giants today.
Gonna go! 3-run homer, Jackson Merrill.
Pre-game 5:45.
to hear Mike Schultz speak and get ready for the ball game tonight. Frank and I will take you the rest of the way here. We do have Chris versus the fans coming up in this particular segment, and that is good news for those of you, let's say you've always wanted to play, and you just haven't because you're like, I can't get through. Now you could get through. There are some lines open at 833-288-0973. Dial in for a little Chris versus the fans. It's the only way that you can qualify for a chance to win the grand prize, which is a trip to see Bruno Mars in Las Vegas. And you get 2 tickets to the show at Dolby Live, Park MGM on September 3rd. Also get a 2-night stay at Park MGM and a $100 gift card. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. So dial in, Chris versus the fan. Now, are these, did Scraby donate some questions while he's away, or did you come up with these questions,
No,
Frank?
Scraby donated the questions
All right.
as I have been sans internet because of the move these last couple days. So Scraby was
you've been
awesome to
moving.
help.
Where are you
Yes.
going, Frank?
8 houses down.
Why?
Because where we were renting, our landlord was coming back. They're in the military, so they were coming
I
back.
see. So you want to stay where you are, but you couldn't. You want to be. You're close where you are, but you.
Yeah, we're in literally the same exact apartment complex.
So you're going eight places down. Are you carrying every item over individually?
No, we did the close and close. Like we walked over as much as we could.
Yeah.
We had a couple of movers come in today. My God, these guys were good. They did more in 15 minutes than we managed in 3 days.
All right.
They had
good.
everything out of our house in an hour and a half.
Glad to hear
which
it.
We never would have done.
All right. Well, good luck on the move, Frank.
Thank you very much.
I must say that of all of the things that one can do, in the world, moving is in the bottom 10 for me of excitement. Like
it's in the top 10 of least fun,
right.
certainly.
There's so many people out there. Are a lot of people out there that, like to buy houses and then what do they say? Flip them and then move again and then buy them and flip them. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, no, we're good there.
Yeah, me too. Don't get that. Don't get the flipping. All right, Frank, let's go to some Chris versus the fans here. I think we got people dialed in, so let's play ball.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Frank will have the questions for you. You get 3 of them. They get a little more difficult as you go along. And if you get it right, you move on. If you miss it, then I can jump in there and eliminate you. But, of course, if I also miss, you get to move on to the second question. And if all of that happens on the 3rd round, you are today's winner. One last thing. I don't think I've ever had the chance to say this because Scraby always says it. If you're a first-time player, get the first question for free. All right, Frank, let's go play ball.
All righty. So we will start off today with Gilberto in San Diego.
Gilberto was on
how are
time.
you?
He was ready to play ball. Let's go. Hi, Gilberto. Good to talk to you, man.
Hola, Cristóbal. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, Gilberto. Are you going to 1, 2, or all 3 of the Dodger visits next week?
All 3 of them.
All 3, yeah. And you know what? I know it is in our heart to despise all Dodger fans, but I just tell everybody out there, Gilberto is one of the good guys. He's a Dodger fan, but he's a good guy. They're just, it's possible. And Gilberto proves it can happen. Right, Gilberto?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I enjoy watching the Padres play. And like I told you before, my favorite player is Jackson Merrill. I love watching that kid play.
Okay.
And may the best team win. I just hope we have good games.
I can't believe we got like 1 more week. We're waiting for this series.
And then you got 2 and
It's
2.
It's going to be electric, that's for sure.
It will be fun starting next Monday. We got a lot of work to do before then, including a round of Chris First the Fan. So go get him, Frank.
All righty. First question. Here it comes. Which NFL player has a small ownership stake, in the Kansas City Royals?
In the Kansas City Royals, that's got to be Patrick Mahomes.
Very good.
Yep. I think his wife has a stake in the KC women's soccer franchise.
Oh, there you go.
So both of them are into a little ownership.
That I did not know. All right, here we go. Question number 2. Coming into today, who is the MLB leader in home runs?
Good.
In home runs, I just heard this yesterday.
That's good
what's his
timing,
name?
Gilberto, if you remember.
Yeah, I just heard it yesterday, and I can't remember his name.
Oh, no.
I can't remember his name.
I'm going to give you a
But
hint.
ju-
I'm going to give you a hint because I like you, Gilberto, and the rest of the people can get mad. Pretend we're playing Password. You know the game Password?
Yeah.
All right, here's my hint. Sir Walter?
I can't.
Didn't help you, huh? I don't know that Gilberto's an
No.
American historian. All right,
But-
so no guess, Gilberto.
I
then.
know the second and third, Otani and Judge. Second and third.
Yeah, that's not going to help you. All right, buzz him.
No,
You gotta
no,
buzz
I'm
him.
sorry.
Sir Walter Raleigh is the reference I was making. I don't exactly even know who he is, but I've heard that before. Cal Raleigh is the home run leader. Sorry, Gilberto.
That's right. The
Always good to catch up with
catcher
you.
for the Mariners.
Yes,
Thank
23
you.
home
Thank you.
runs
Have a-
for Cal Raleigh.
Frankie Watkins, not a fan of that hint in the chat either.
Why not?
Said he didn't get it either.
Yeah, I know.
John-
It's too old of a reference, I guess.
John in La Mesa is going to be our next player.
Hey, John.
John.
What's going on, fellas?
We're hanging in there.
All righty. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
He's ready.
All right. Here we go. Question number 1.
Kind of upset now that people don't like my Sir Walter Raleigh reference.
I'll take a hint, though.
He'll take a hint, even if okay. Well, I'll see what we can do.
Which Boston Red Sox hitter has appeared in the most games in baseball coming into today for this season?
Who is it? What?
Which Boston Red Sox hitter has appeared in the most games in baseball coming into today?
So far this season.
Yes.
Is this the first question? Number
Yes,
one pointer?
that is the number 1 question.
Wow.
This is a tough number 1, and I've got no idea.
This is a tough number 1.
Yeah, I imagine it's the left fielder that they're talking about trading for that I can't remember his name. So, yeah. Chris, go ahead and get it wrong for me.
I will. I'll guess Rafael Devers just for fun. I don't know. Is it? Oh, it is?
It is Rafael Devers.
I was thinking I was wrong. That's why I guessed that. I honestly thought that that John had it with Jaron Duran.
Nope, it is Rafael
Devers. Sorry about that.
Devers.
That's just totally bad luck. John.
All right, next up,
Devers
Guy.
has played the most games of anybody.
Yes, he has.
After all of the controversy surrounding him.
Next up, Guy in Bay Park. Guy, how are you?
Hey, Frank. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Guy.
All righty, here we go. Question number 1. Who was the only Padre to hit a home run yesterday?
Yesterday's Padre home run hitter.
Wasn't it? Let's see.
Thinking way back to yesterday. Sometimes it's difficult to think.
I think didn't Fernando hit one in the first?
He says Fernando. No. That was a couple days ago. He homered it early. I think Manny homered yesterday, didn't he? Manny Machado. Yeah. Sorry about that. Guy. All right, next going. Moving
All right,
on.
let's go with Mark in Vista next. Mark, how are you today?
Good. How's it going, man?
Very good,
Good.
Mark. Very good. Good luck to you.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. You can tell these were scrappy last-second questions. Who ran into the left field wall for the Padres yesterday?
Sheets. Gavin Sheets.
Gavin. Yeah.
It was Gavin Sheets. All right, here we go. Question number 2. A pitcher that releases the ball from below their waist is called what type of pitcher?
Southpaws.
Southpaws, he says. Yeah. Southpaw is somebody who throws left-handed.
Left-handed.
Yeah. Should we give him another guess just because we're nice? I think he missed. I think he just kind
I
of.
think we should. You know what, Mark?
Take another shot, Mark. What do you got?
Oh, man. I don't know. This is embarrassing. I'm an actual guy. I do not know this. Southpaw. It wasn't Southpaw. It's got to be.
Releases
Side armor?
under the
Side
waist.
armor? I don't know.
Side
I'm just
armor.
gonna say
Side armor?
Yeah. Almost. Submariner? Yeah. All right. Sorry, Mark. Good try.
All right, 1 second here. Let me just get another one ready here. All right. So
having a good game today.
We're running through all my questions here.
Tell Scraby to put some more together. That's all. That's what we do.
Let's go to Kevin in Oceanside. Kevin, how are you?
Hello.
Howdy.
Back in the day, Philly Billy and Hartman days.
Yeah, good to have you aboard. Yes, and I do remember those days. Hello. Yeah, Philly Billy Werndell. We got to get old Philly Billy back on one of these days.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll try to track him down. And he'd probably come on because he loves to do this stuff.
All righty, here we go. Question number 1. What Boston Red Sox outfielder are the Padres rumored to be interested in?
Bear?
I'm not sure if I'm going to say it correctly. Jordan?
Close enough.
Give it to you.
Duran.
Yep. Jaron Duran.
Duran.
Yeah.
Here we go. Question number 2. What team currently sits in first place in the AL West?
Seattle Mariners.
Hey.
Seattle Mariners do sit first place.
You got it
in
right.
the
By the
AL
way,
West.
Frank, congratulations to your Metropolitans for moving back into the top spot this week. So the Phillies lost all 3. And you took advantage of the Rockies' visit.
I want to make it very clear. I did not bring that up. I, the Met fan, did not bring that up.
I'm just congratulating you, giving you a nod.
All right, here we go. Question number 3. Including his save yesterday, how many saves does Robert Suarez have this season?
I'm going to say, including yesterday, 20.
20.
No, not today.
Rats, he said. 18? Guessing. No, you got it. Winner. Kevin's a winner. What is 19?
You bracketed it. It's 19.
In the middle. All right. Well, that's a win for you, Kevin. Stay online. You have a chance to go to Las Vegas. We got to get a little break here. And a lot more Gwynn and Chris still ahead. Till about 5:35 today before Padre baseball. Stick around. emotional spots.
I
really well done.
Don't think so, but
really well done. A couple of score updates. The Rockies, who are actually worth keeping an eye on, I think, at this point now, because it's gotten so crazy. They scored in the first inning tonight in Miami. That's the good news. Marlins now lead, though, 4-1. By the way, an underrated aspect of the Rockies' terribleness, because we know they can't hit, we know they can't pitch, they also can't field.
Well, no, we just said Brenton Doyle did a very
Brenton
good
Doyle
job
just
in
threw
center
out a
field.
runner at the plate, but prior to that, they coughed up their 53rd unearned run of the season, which is 20 more than any other team in baseball. I'm just saying.
Should I read the stat I sent you last night, or do you want to do that one?
I'll let you read it since you can't. You found it.
So the Rockies, again, historically bad.
Yes.
As you do. The Colorado Rockies in 28 games played in since May 2nd have won 3 games.
Right.
In 4 golf tournaments played since May 2nd, Scotty Scheffler has won 3 golf tournaments.
Right. He's won 3. The Rockies have won 3. By the way, there was a nice golf controversy that I wish Scraby was here to try and defend his pal Rory McIlroy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's not here to do it, so I'll just tear Rory up anyway. Scheffler won the tournament this week in Dublin, Ohio. That is the Memorial, which is the Jack Nicklaus tournament. Now, nobody's more revered in the game, the history of golf, probably than Jack.
Mm-hmm.
You can put some others, up there, Hogan, and, mention some other guys. Tiger, even Tiger, going to look up to Jack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jack's a whole nother. So Jack has his tournament. Evidently, McIlroy was invited along with all the other top golfers. McIlroy just did not play. And I guess that's fine.
Wait, did he decline the invitation, or
He apparently
ignore
declined
it?
the invitation, but without calling Jack Nicklaus personally to explain it.
Oh, so he just ignored
And
it.
he's taking a ton of heat on the golf circuit because Jack is so revered. You don't do that to Jack Nicklaus. If he invites you, you at least call him personally, especially if you're Rory McIlroy, and you say, hey, I can't make it. I'm going to be with the family, whatever. But evidently Rory McIlroy's taking it. I'm not the one, but this is why McIlroy is, a bit of a polarizing figure. And I'm not a fan of McIlroy. And I think that this was, a typical Rory McIlroy type move.
I like Rory. Seeing him win the Masters this year and everything that went on around that was absolutely fantastic.
It was. Was it really?
You got to RSVP, man.
Yes, you got to RSVP
say
Nicklaus.
Something.
Got RSVP a guy like Jack Nicklaus. Anyway, so Rory McIlroy taking it. Scheffler won the tournament. All right, so we gave you the Rockies baseball update. College baseball, the world, it's the regional finals are going on. To get to the super regionals, and it is there's 6 elimination games today. North Carolina's already won one of them. They beat Oklahoma. Murray State is leading Ole Miss right now 5-1 in the 4th inning. That could be a big upset if that holds up, but we'll keep an eye on that. College softball, the World Series, Oklahoma and Texas, no score 2nd inning. Oklahoma needs to win that game and another game to advance back to the finals against Texas. In the meanwhile, Frank, there's no NBA game tonight.
No.
And there's no NBA game tomorrow. And there's no NBA game on Wednesday either.
But there is a Stanley Cup Finals game.
Stanley Cup Finals does start Wednesday, but I'm talking about the NBA here. Does the NBA every year have to take what really amounts to about a week layoff between the championship series or the Eastern Finals and the NBA Finals? This is not the first time this has happened. The Thunder will have been off for 8 days by the time they tee it up on Thursday. The Pacers will be off for, I think, 5 days. The reason this is a problem in my mind basketball players are not used to playing with an 8-day layoff. They just don't do that all season long. And I think for the finals, you should do what you're normally comfortable doing, not something that is brand new. The Super Bowl, you can have a week or two off. And even that, I think, is kind of interesting that they need the second week. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. I think it matters to these teams. I want them playing the best. Is Oklahoma City going to be at its best Thursday night after an 8-day layoff? That remains to be seen.
I don't necessarily like the rest. And the only reason why I think what you can attribute this rest to is television, because you're planning it out for a 7-game. You're planning television out for a 7-game
yes,
series.
right. If the Knicks and Pacers played Game 7 tonight, then Thursday would make sense to start the finals. But they're not. So I think you should move the finals up. That's just what you should do.
That would be asking ESPN to change their television.
Please. It's the NBA Finals. ESPN will find a way to change the television thing. They got enough channels. They can shuffle the Tuesday night dart match off to ESPN the Ocho so they can put the NBA Finals on.
No, I
disagree with it. I'm in the minority, maybe, but I don't think so. I don't like the OKC getting 8 days. That's way too many for an NBA player to be at their best.
But then again, that's also, you can take a look at that in baseball and in hockey as well. If you sweep somebody out of a round, you're sitting there for a week as you're waiting for somebody waiting for Game 7.
Right, Frank.
to
Good
go.
try. I'll give it to you. Mike Trout's just hit his 10th home run of the year.
Hunter Goodman hit one while you weren't paying attention. So
I was paying
4-2.
attention. I saw Hunter Goodman's home run for the Rockies. Trout, 3-run shot. Angels put 6 on the board in the first inning at Boston tonight. Trout's average up to 214.
Get Jarren Duran the first bus out.
Jarren Duran hasn't come up yet, but he's in the leadoff spot for the Red Sox on his way to San Diego. We hope. Tony and I put a lot of cold water on that.
Just that wink and nod you gave me right now.
Yeah, we put a little cold. Look, Dennis Lynn's reporting it. Padre fans are now expecting it, and I just think it's way too much wishful thinking at this point. There's, like I said, if the Red Sox were in the business of helping the Padres be good, then I would say that we can get Jarren Duran because they apparently have some replacements, some prospects, whatever. But they're not just going to hand him over.
No.
And I think that the likes of a Salas or a DeVries would have to be involved here. Duran is an all-star last year. He's an 8.7 WAR guy last year. 20-plus homers, 30-plus steals. You're not going to get this, I don't think, without parting with something really good.
And again, it's not the fact that he's worth that much as far as prospect capital or somebody who's major league ready right now. It's how much control you're getting.
You get 3 years of control with him on top of his talent.
Yeah, he's getting $3.75 million this year. He has an $8 million club option next year. And then he's in ARB 3 in 27 and ARB 4 in 28. So that is the price that you're paying. And that is what's going to cost you a Leo DeVries or a Salas.
You're paying so much.
And it's another reason why I can't stand these big trades for guys like Tanner Scott, who is going to be a 6-month rental, because you mean to tell me now that the guys that you sent to Miami for Tanner Scott, you couldn't use to have a legitimate crack at Jarren Duran right now?
Did the Dodgers mess up? Fine. As far as I'm concerned.
No, and that's Tanner
fair. Scott, they paid a heavy price and they're not getting much return on that investment.
No, and my point is that you could have used that by not making that trade when you didn't necessarily have to after you got Jason Adam and you had the great back of the bullpen.
Oh, you're talking about the Padres with Tanner Scott.
Yeah, but you could have used that capital by not trading Scott to go after Duran.
Not going to second guess that. They went they took a shot at having one of the great bullpens ever. They had one. They came up short because they didn't score a run for 30 innings.
Right, yeah.
I can't blame that. on taking the shot to bring in Tanner Scott. I'm always up for that, and I'll worry about the next guy who comes available the next time. That's me. I think that's what you had to do last year. If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's Authentic Mediterranean Cuisine, Coronado, La Jolla, dining, takeout options. Visit spiroscuisine.com. Quick break. Frank's put together a big five. Can't wait to see what's in it when Gwynn and Chris continues. Texas Tech, nothing yet in the second inning of that softball World Series game. Winner moves on to the finals, take on Texas for the national championship. College baseball, there are 6 elimination games going on right now. Oregon State 5-0 over USC in the 5th. Murray State over Ole Miss 9-3 in the 5th. Tennessee 8-2 over Wake Forest in the 5th. So you got 3 blowouts there. North Carolina beat Oklahoma earlier. All right, Frank, you got a big 5, I understand.
I do have a big 5.
But before we get to that, yes, Sam Levitt caught up with Gavin Sheets, much as the left field wall caught up to Gavin yesterday.
I'm not sure if it was actually Sam that
He's got the sound.
He gave us the audio.
We can hear from Gavin Sheets after his run-in with the wall. He's not in the lineup tonight, but he has spoken in San Francisco. Here is what he had to say.
Went through all the protocol and all the testing. All the testing was good, so I'm really happy about that. No headaches. Sleep went well. That was kind of the big test, was how the flight and how the sleep was going to go. So, all things considered, pretty fortunate.
It looked full speed. Mm-hmm. Did you recall slowing down at all, or did you?
No, I didn't feel like, obviously with Frazier up, I was playing in. It's not really a guy that you're expecting to go backside juice. And so obviously had a lot of room, and I knew it was going to be close whether it got out or not. And I really didn't have time to slow up just because I think he hit right off the top of the wall. So I just kind of went for it.
You ever come close? I mean, I know there was the one earlier in the year, but something like that.
Really? No, probably not. Definitely available for tonight, which is good. I expect to be right back in.
Left field wasn't a position you played much before you started playing to help out the team recently. Do you expect to be back out there soon?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I'd expect to do whatever they want me to do. Whatever gets me in line up, whatever they need me to do, I'll do. So,
Did you fly up last night or today?
Yeah, I flew out last night. Yeah, just because all the tests and everything was positive. Went through all the questions, a lot of questionnaires, so passed all those, which was good. And talked to the doctors again this morning, and everything was good.
So you anticipate being available tonight, which means you don't expect an IL tonight.
Yeah, correct.
Gavin Sheets right there. Sounds like the wall is worse for the wear.
It does. It definitely does.
Yeah, he doesn't sound too bad. He's not in the starting lineup tonight. Might see him, according to him.
Yeah, he did
later
say
in
he
the
was
ballgame.
available.
Padres and Giants getting set at a little after 6:30 tonight. Sam Levitt, who brought us that sound, with guest appearances by Kevin Acee, Dennis Lynn, and AJ Cassaville. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Frank, let's see what else is going on out there in the wacky world of sports after traffic with our Big 5.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Eliminate Termite, the orange oil experts. Just a couple things to mention here. One is this collision on the Kempner Boulevard on-ramp to southbound 5. Car and big rig involved. They're over the right shoulder. And if you're heading north on the 15 before the 56, watch out for some tire tread and other debris in the left lane. Have termites? Eliminate Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big 5 starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Frank, take it away.
All righty.
All you.
Off and running we go.
Number 5.
So we will start off today, as I get back to my sheet here, Colorado coach Deion Sanders said he was hurt by reports
I saw this.
that said his son Shedeur Sanders was underprepared during pre-draft meetings with NFL teams, but he also isn't buying the validity of them either. Shedeur Sanders, who has been widely expected to be a first-round pick, dropped all the way to the 5th round before he was selected by the Cleveland Browns. Shiloh Brown, Deion Sanders' other son available to be drafted, wasn't selected at all.
Shiloh Sanders, you mean? You said Shiloh Brown. It was just a malaprop there.
My bad. Wasn't selected at all, but wasn't drafted at all, but was signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after the draft. Too many names. All right, here we go. Deion said, quote, "It did hurt, but the Bible says God uses the foolish things to confound the wise."
It's a good statement, but it's hard to understand. My favorite part of this was Deion Sanders basically saying, pointing out that the word is apparently now that Shedeur Sanders went to his interviews wearing headphones.
Good.
And Deion is like, come on. Like, really? There's just, my son has, been playing Division I quarterback now for 2 years. You need to be prepared. There is no way that he went in with headphones. I love Deion. He said, y'all, come on now. So here's the thing. If he really went in there with headphones, that probably deserves to be chosen in the 5th round.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
100%.
not going to believe that he went to visit these people with headphones on.
No,
Where do people come up with this stuff?
I have a feeling I would believe more the woefully underprepared and just kind of shrugging off questions.
Sounded
and stuff
like there was
that.
teams he didn't want to play for.
But that's.
Did he really wear headphones though?
If that was his worst crime of those meetings, then no, that does not result in him getting dropped all the way.
The bottom
to
line
5th
is
round.
teams didn't want him, or they would have
Right.
taken him.
Absolutely.
I don't care if he was wearing headphones or not. Teams, let's put it this way. When Joe Burrow came out, right, or whatever,
yeah,
he wasn't. But if he was wearing headphones, you think they would have picked him anyway?
Yeah.
Don't think he would have gone to the 5th round.
No.
So NFL teams aren't going to really care.
It comes down to the same thing it always comes down to in situations like this. The circus that you are going to bring is your on-field play worth it? And for Deion Sanders, the answer to that, at least right now, is no.
Yeah,
that might change, but right now, he does not justify he is going to bring to the Cleveland Browns organization, who already is a circus, by the way.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
Yeah.
Number 4.
3-ring circus. And now this could be 4.
No kidding. All right, so we've been following this stuff here with Lance McCullers Jr. We talked about it last week.
The threats that he's been getting.
Yes, apparently the threatener has been identified. An intoxicated bettor located overseas was behind the social media threats directed last month at Houston Astros pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. and his family, according to Houston PD. A spokesperson for the department said on Monday declined to identify the suspect or his current location and said no charges have been filed yet. The spokesperson told ESPN that the man admitted that he had been gambling on the Astro game, lost money, and was frustrated and inebriated and sent the threats to McCullers. The man apologized and asked that his apology be relayed to McCullers and his family. According to the spokesperson, the case remains open while charges are considered. I'm sorry, being drunk and betting money on something you have no control over, not smart, doesn't matter.
Here's the thing. Charges are being considered. Charges should be filed
100%.
immediately.
100%.
Secondly, this guy can apologize all he wants from the comforts of his jail cell, and he can stay there a while.
Yep.
And I will say this, if nothing else, because I don't know, this guy's overseas somewhere, so who knows about, really being able to go after, prosecute situations like that. But the fact that they're able to find this guy tells me
they can find anyone else.
That they'll find you if you want to be the next person who loses a bet to threaten some guy's family.
And we all hope
and this is what I was after when this first story came out, right?
Yes. Yep.
Let's
make
some of these people pay if they're going to make these threats. And apparently that can now happen. So kudos to the authorities for finding this, because this is something that needs to be, this is important to get taken care of. Because you're not going to stop the wagering.
Right.
We know that. So let's at least stop the threats.
They can stop the wagering.
Okay.
They just don't want to because they found a way to make money off of it.
But they also could stop the wagering and people would wager anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
Number 3.
Dodger Stadium is falling apart. Quite literally. The Dodgers placed netting around a small section of the upper deck at Dodger Stadium on Saturday after a piece of concrete fell on a Yankee fan. It's not a real loss there.
Like
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Frank then tap danced on the piece of concrete with the Yankee fan underneath.
During the game on Friday, he said, quote, "We had professionals and experts at Dodger Stadium this morning, being Saturday morning, to examine the facility and ensure its safety. We will also be undertaking a long-term review." According to The Athletic, the chunk of concrete struck a fan from above Section 10 of the reserve level. So any of my Met brethren do not go anywhere near Section 10 this evening.
They might take out a few Met fans tonight, Frank.
Stay far away from Section 10.
Yeah.
The fan received medical attention, but stayed in the game, stayed for the remainder of the game. Good on the fan, I guess, for not letting a little bit of concrete dampen his night. No other fans were injured. It's fun to see. It's fun to see bad things happen to bad people.
All right. Bad people. You're just saying any Yankee fan is a bad person. Yeah, I've got nothing more to add other than nothing lasts forever. I mean, Dodger Stadium has been there for, 90 years. So.
When was the last time it's had
90, but
when was the last time it's had
it had
any sort of renovation?
No, it had a facelift maybe 15, 20 years ago for sure. But yeah, as far as like a piece of concrete falling from the upper deck, I mean, I don't know that you can retrofit all of that.
No, not during the season, especially not.
Or even during, off season. Dodger Stadium 61 too.
It's not unprecedented.
It's been a while.
It happened with the Yankees, and I believe it was 72 and 73.
Yeah, they had to finally build a whole new stadium.
Yeah, they closed Yankee Stadium down, effectively rebuilt it from the ground up, and the Yankees played at Shea for those 2 years. So it's not entirely impossible that if the Dodgers were going to do something like that, they could play at Angel Stadium for a year or two.
Or they could come down here and
that would go over very well.
We would not invite them.
That would go over obscenely well.
You know what? I think it would be better for the Dodgers. Let's send them to Oakland for 2 years. Let them, or Sacramento, or Oakland, or any of those.
Just ship them out to Hawaii, maybe. Yordan Alvarez's hand injury is apparently worse than appeared. The Houston Astros slugger felt pain in his right hand on Friday while hitting, and a small fracture that was believed to be a muscle strain was discovered. The fracture is currently about 60% healed. General Manager Dana Brown said he believes the fracture in Alvarez's fourth metacarpal wasn't discovered in the initial imaging on May 6th because there was too much inflammation and fluid around the area. Alvarez has been out since May 3rd with the injury. They had hoped he could come off the injured list this past weekend. Everything going on with Michael King right now.
Look, it's nice to hear there's another player, and there are many, but we don't hear enough about the fact that other players take longer to come back than you think as well.
But the point
it's not just Padres.
But the point here being, with everything going on with Michael King right now, could the imaging have been done too quickly to find if there was a bigger problem? Because that's what happened here.
Yeah. I don't know. Shoulder, finger. Shoulder doesn't have a lot of little tiny bones in it.
Very true.
I'm not a doctor, but I know fingers and hands have a lot of that. So I'll say one thing. Alvarez, 3 home runs, 210 batting average, 300 points, OPS lower than career. He has been a huge struggle.
Yes.
And now hurt.
For a struggling team that's not used to this over the last couple of years.
They're second place.
But with where they've been and where that bar has been set over the last
Sorry,
decade, this is a
can't
bad
stay
year.
good forever.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
Number 1.
All right, the last time Manny Pacquiao was in a boxing ring, he looked every bit of 42 years old as he was. Now at 46, he's looking to return to the ring again as he challenges Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title on July 19th. Should Pacquiao win, he would break 2 records. He would become the first fighter inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame to win a world title, as well as the oldest fighter to become welterweight champion, breaking the record that he set when he defeated Keith Thurman at age 40. Any shot he wins this fight, or any shot you're going to watch it?
No. Well, maybe and no in that order. I don't know enough about it. You can't put a limit on it, but 46 seems like maybe it's time to think of doing something else. And I think he's a senator in the Philippines, or he was for 6 years.
He's in politics.
Go
there.
back to that. It's much safer, Manny.
I agree. 100%.
Happy hours next. Gwynn and Chris coming up with more ahead of Padre baseball tonight. earlier. And Frank Marchese in for Scraby this week. You can enjoy the Scraby Chronicles, by the way, during the afternoon hours this week, as Braden Soprano takes a little time off. The happy hour on this program brought to you by GL Pools. Swimming pool experts. They're trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. Baseball season is in full swing. So is swim season, called GL Pools. Mention radio. Get yourself a free month of pool service. Update from Miami. Game of the day in Major League Baseball. Second home run of the evening for Hunter Goodman. Rockies catchers put Colorado ahead of Miami 5-4 in the fifth. Right now, the Rockies are currently working on their fourth 8-game losing streak of the season, Frank. But, nobody beats Colorado 9 straight times. They're not going to have any of that. Their previous 3 strengths all ended at 8. So they're looking to end another one. Padres and Giants coming up at 6:40. Stephen Kolek, Logan Webb for San Francisco tomorrow. Ryan Bergert has been tabbed. He will get the start for the Friars tomorrow. Ryan Bergert threw the very first pitch of spring training this year.
Is that official, or is that still
I don't
just
know if it's 100% official, but he's supposedly there. Like, what else are they going to do? He's on the taxi squad tonight. He'll be going through all of the pregame stuff. He's not eligible to play tonight. Seemed like a big old waste of time if you're going to bring him up there to do all that and not pitch him tomorrow. Landon Raup will start for the Giants tomorrow. Wednesday, you'll get Nick Pivetta and Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison in the spot of Justin Verlander. I don't believe Verlander's won a game yet for the Giants. He's pitched okay, but has not been credited with a win yet.
Let me take a look.
Thursday's matchup, Thursday afternoon game, Dylan Cease, who's won only one more game than Justin Verlander has, will face Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's having he's a former Cy Young Award winner himself, Robbie Ray. 7-1 this year for the Giants. Padres and Giants played twice earlier this year in San Diego. Padres did pretty well, especially against Logan Webb. They beat him and the Giants 7-4. In the first matchup, won the second game behind Michael King 5-3. Robert Suarez saved both those games for the Padres, who kick off a stretch where they play 17 of the next 20 games against division rivals at long last. Like, we've been waiting all year for this.
There you go.
Yeah, I know, but I shouldn't have to wait till June. Nor should you or anybody else.
I agree. There should be a smattering of them throughout the
There's
season.
not enough divisional play. And I know baseball wants us to see the Royals every year, and the Rays and the Orioles and the Athletics, but we don't need to see them every year. We need to see the Dodgers, Giants, and Diamondbacks more often. There, I said it. Frank?
I don't really have much of a rebuttal
I know
for
you
that.
don't, because other than the fact that baseball's doing it anyway.
Other than to say that Verlander started 10 games so far this season, 0-3 with a 4.33 ERA.
Yeah, he's pitched, not great. He's not going to win the Cy Young anymore. But anyway, he's not pitching in this series. He's on the
on the 15-day IL. Yeah.
The IL. Do you know Nijare Kennedy?
Bless you.
Nijare Kennedy. I believe that's how it's pronounced. If I'm wrong, I apologize.
Do you need a tissue?
No. She is a pitcher, college softball pitcher. Started her career at Stanford. Helped get Stanford to a couple of straight Women's College World Series. Then she announced plans to transfer to Texas Tech. Here's why. The Matador Club, Texas Tech's NIL collective, offered her $1 million.
What?
Yeah, to come pitch at Texas Tech. The official contract was $1,050,024. $1 million was for her. $50,000 was for living expenses because she couldn't afford them otherwise. And $24, I guess, was kind of fun because that's her jersey number. Canady is paying dividends for Texas Tech, at least fans that really want to see them do well in college softball.
Yeah, I was just that's the
She's
shocking.
on the mound right now in this semifinal game, leading Oklahoma 2-0 in the third inning. And Oklahoma's the 4-time defending champs. She led the nation this year with a 0.86 ERA. And like I said, she's got a chance to lead her team right now into the College World Series final. Texas is awaiting the winner of this Texas Tech-Oklahoma matchup.
She's coming up to hit right now, actually.
She's coming up to hit right now. But Katie, Frank, I got no complaints. Good for her.
No,
somebody wants to give her $1 million, fine. The problem is it's good for her. It's not good for college sports that kids, that it's coming down to just dollars, because not everybody can afford to give anybody $1 million to go play any sport. And the rich are getting richer, and the rest of college sports is fading away.
The reason why, for me at least, the reaction you got from me out of that, I would never have guessed that softball would have been that big of a draw to garner somebody getting a $1 million NIL deal.
You wouldn't think. But somebody at the Matador. No, what I'm saying is the Matador Club, somebody at Texas Tech really wanted softball to be a big deal. I mean, the quote, there's a big story on this on ESPN.com if you want to read more about it. But the big quote is, hey, she's put Texas Tech softball on the map. What you're saying, can't necessarily disagree with you.
No,
Frank, is she put Texas Tech on the softball map. So what? Like, is that important?
The only time anyone cares about women's college softball, college softball.
There is no men's college softball.
The only time that people care about college softball is right now when the College World Series is going on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love watching it. I respect and admire all the kids, at San Diego State and elsewhere who play. San Diego State had a really nice season. But college softball is, quote, a minor sport.
Yes.
I didn't come up with that. I'll tell you one thing, you start paying $1 million to more of these kids, maybe it won't be a minor sport a whole lot longer. It's quite remarkable, because I would think in NIL money for a college softball player, $1,050,000 for NIL money is probably $1 million more than any other player's getting. Would you not agree?
That would be my assumption.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
good for her, as I said.
Absolutely.
Not great for college sports, I don't think.
Get the bag while you can. Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
100%.
What's she supposed to do? Turn it down?
I play softball. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah. No, I'm staying at Stanford, man. Getting a better education here. You can hold on to your $1 million. Thanks for the offer. Got other things to do. Anyway,
I mean, Stanford is one of those ones where you're like, maybe.
No, not maybe. $1 million?
You could, if
First
you're
of all,
going to, if you're getting a Stanford,
maybe to get somebody to transfer to Lubbock, Texas, that's the going rate. You have to come up with $1 million. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the problem.
But if you're getting an education at Stanford, there's a good chance that you could make close to or more than $1 million.
I'm taking the $1 million. Not waiting around. Anyway, she's doing quite well. Like I said, she's got a 2-0 lead here in the fourth inning. Texas Tech wins. They'll go to the championship against Texas, where she can further her stardom. It's a quiet day in sports otherwise. I do have for you in the next segment. I thought this through today, and I'm going to count it down, because even though the Padres won the series over the Bucks, and they've won 3 straight series, All is not wonderful in Padre land. I don't feel.
No.
I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about, and then I'll get more specific. How about this, Frank?
Lay it on me.
After 17 games this year, the Padres' record was 14-3.
Yes.
In the 40 games since then, 40. That's a large sample size, I feel. It's at least a quarter of a season. They're 19-21. In those 40 games, the Padres are hitting .233 as a team. Their bullpen ERA over those 40 games is 4.02, which is far away from being the great dominant bullpen that we keep talking about. So it's a long stretch. And I think it's something you have to be a little concerned with, as well as being concerned about this. And they can answer this question in the next 2.5 weeks. But will they? Through 57 games this year, the Padres have played 29 games against teams that are currently over 500. They played 28 games against teams that are under 500. In the 28 games under, Padres record, scintillating, 22-6. They've dominated these teams. That includes losing one to the Pirates this weekend. But in the 29 games against winning teams, they're 11-18. That's not great. It's a little skewed because Toronto was a losing team. Now they're a winning team. I mean, it depends when you do this statistic. A lot of teams are really close to 500. They're over, they're under. But 11-18 doesn't look great. And the fact of the matter is, San Francisco, Milwaukee, Dodgers, Arizona's under 500, but you know they're good. Dodgers again, right? You're getting Kansas City after that.
Yeah.
You're pretty much getting nothing but winning teams for the next month. So that 11-18 is going to have to improve right now.
It's also a little skewed because that's a lot of, as far as the offensive numbers go, that's an injury bug that hit hard.
Yeah.
So that dropped the team batting average and slugging
you're going
percentage
back
and
to
all
the
that
previous
down.
statistic, yes.
But as far as this, the winning percentage against, that goes back to the start of the season, where we said this was going to be a team that very realistically could finish third, possibly fourth, with the third wild card spot in this division. That was the expectation coming into this season in February, January and February.
It was the expectation before they started 14-3.
Right.
They've come back to
they are back to earth. They're back to earth. They are back to where we all had anticipated them being. They got it, and what makes it jarring is that 14-3 start where you got so far out, and in order to come back to earth, you have to come so far back.
Right.
But this is where we expected them to be.
All right, 17 of their next 20 games are against teams with winning records. So let's be honest about this for sure. If they're going to make anything of this season, they got to make something of these next 17 games against winning teams.
Absolutely.
So they're going to have to play a whole lot better. And unfortunately, they're going into it not at 100%.
No.
All right.
Especially with the pitching staff, which was supposed to be the strongest part of this team.
Top 5 things we're really concerned about more specifically when we come back after a check of traffic. Padres come in. Just 2 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West. The Giants are 3 behind the Dodgers in the NL West. As it stands right now, Padres are the 5 seed in the NL playoffs. Giants right behind them, tied with the Cardinals for the 6th seed. And remember, the 6 make it. Before we get to the Padres issues, and I have 5 things I've identified as my 5 biggest problems. I mean, it's June 2nd. Every team's probably got 5 problems. Even the Tigers probably have a few.
Have to imagine.
We'll get to that in a second. But the Giants, to me, 33-26. I would put them. I would put the Cardinals with the same record. And I would put Toronto, which is hot right now, 31-28, second in the AL East. I would put those 3 teams as my biggest pleasant surprises this season in terms of their record right now compared to what we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody else in baseball that's good right now was supposed to be good.
Yes.
Yankees, Tigers, Mariners, Astros, all good normally. Guardians, good. Mets, Phillies, Cubs, Dodgers, Padres. I mean, these are all supposed to be good. They're all good. The 3 teams that are surprisingly good to me are the Cardinals, the Giants, and Toronto.
Yeah, definitely.
So give Bob Melvin. I know. Do we hate Bob Melvin in San Diego, by the way?
Shouldn't.
I don't see why we would, but I think some people just for some reason he left a bad taste. I'm not sure why. He and AJ Preller didn't see eye to eye. It's okay. Those things happen in the world of sports and every other line of work.
Happen in the world of the world.
The world of the world. Yes, thank you. So did Bob Melvin ever do anything that, angered people here? Did he say anything that would cause people to, be anti-Bob Melvin for any reason? I don't remember it if it happened.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is the spurning of San Diego to go to San Francisco when he still had a year left on his contract.
But he had to
Big
spurn.
deal.
He was basically going to be released from this early, or he was going to have to manage under less than ideal circumstances where he and the GM didn't get along.
Absolutely.
It was better for both sides
100%.
that he leave, and better for the Padres that they get somebody different.
No, absolutely.
Right.
He's 100% right.
But I feel like Bob Melvin is, kind of a negative name around here. Don't really think it should be.
No,
Anyway.
it really should not be.
He's a 3-time MGR of the year. The guy across the dugout is a 1-time MGR manager of the year. These are good managers. So we'll have some fun tonight. But here are my 5 biggest Padre concerns. I'm going to just say, not concerns. I'm going to go problems. Number 5, start at the bottom. Number 5, the catching position is a black hole on offense. I only rate it number 5 because you can overcome that kind of thing. Most teams have pretty much a black hole, unless you're Cal Raleigh or, there's a few here and there. But the Padres catching situation is largely an automatic out at the bottom of the order. And that bothers me, but I don't know what I can do about it. I'm not bringing Ethan Salas up yet.
No.
And I'm evidently never going to let Luis Campusano strap on a piece of gear again. And even if I do, he's 0 for 13. So what's the hurry? But I think Martin Maldonado, probably a good guy. I'm not enamored when he comes into the batter's box at all. And when Elias Diaz pinch hits for him, not the world's biggest upgrade, although Diaz did come through with a key hit yesterday, and I want to give him credit where it's due. It's number 5.
The only thing I can say and have said about the catcher position is you can afford this right now because it's a stopgap because you have Ethan Salas.
But you can afford it if the rest of the team is hitting.
Right, yes.
You can't afford it when the team has been struggling and has only one double-figure hit game in the last 19 games.
It's not as big an issue as left field. We'll put it that way.
Go in order, Frank.
Now,
I'm at number 5 right now.
My question
Don't
is...
jump ahead of me here.
My question is something that Braden and I brought up before he went on vacation.
All right.
JT Realmuto's a free agent at the end of the year.
Are we renting again?
Would you sign him to a 3-year deal for him to be the starter next year, share time with Salas in year 2, and then back Salas up in year 3?
You're looking to next year. You're not going to sign him this year. The Phillies aren't giving him now.
Well, no, but this offseason is what I meant.
I can't answer.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't. I
Good conversation.
But that's me. I don't worry. I'm not worried about next year yet. I got to get through this one.
Never too early to plan ahead.
Smart general managers do. I'm not smart. Fourth biggest problem for the Padres. And it's only number 4 because I don't know what you do about it. But at some point, they have to be able to hit a 3-run home run and put up some crooked numbers.
It's just timing is all that comes down to.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. So incredible, Frank, that I look it up. They have now had 225 plus plate appearances because there's a few I can't keep track of, like sacrifice flies and things like that. 225 plus plate appearances, 3-run homers. 2 of them were in back-to-back innings in that 21-0 win at Colorado. Can they get where they want to go by scoring 1 run at a time the rest of the season?
But again, it comes down to that's just timing.
I know. That's why I'm ranking
works.
it 4th. I can't rank it any higher because there's nothing I can do.
There's really nothing that they could do about it either.
Well,
to be honest.
But they need to do something about it.
It's great to always have Fernando coming up high up in the batting order, but if he's got nobody on in front of him, it doesn't really matter.
He's
now,
not the only one. 225 plate appearances, 3 home runs, 46 plate appearances with the bases loaded. Not a single slam Diego. That's number 4. Number 3, things I'm considering a problem for the Padres is, now I had my notes here. I don't know why I bother writing stuff when I can't find it later.
We're scraping.
How much time do we have?
We've got about a good 10 minutes.
Oh, good. I have 9 minutes now to find this.
I was going to say I don't know how good a radio it's going to be for you to scrape across.
Number 3
There we go.
problem. Thank you. I found it. The starting pitching injury woes. They're coming at a really bad time.
Yes.
And like we've talked about a bunch, you're going into 17 of 20 games against winning teams. You're going into 14 of 17 against the division. Michael King needs to come back. Yu Darvish needs to be relocated. Matt Waldron, did you ever think you'd be begging for him?
He was an option. He last pitched on, what was it, Friday?
Yeah, he wasn't really much of an option, but he's trying to get back. Look, you're going into a big series in San Francisco. It's not ideal to be going Kolek and what's the other kid's name? Bergert.
Bergert, yes.
Yeah, you're going Kolek Bergert. Unfortunately, that's where you're starting this series.
It's
got to be a problem right now until you can get through it. And how they deal with getting through it is going to go a long way towards telling us where we end up.
Right, but it's not a problem in the way that catcher or left field is. You have these guys, they are on the roster, they are coming back. You just need to give it time. And right now, I understand you're going into this a divisional part of the season, where a sweep against Toronto doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt you as badly as getting swept 3 games out of Arizona next week would. But it is a problem that they are going to have to wade through because they have the guys to fix that problem already on roster.
Number 2, biggest problem for the Padres right now And this is something, again, I almost have to rank it second because I don't exactly know what you can do about it. They got a Xander Bogaerts issue right now. I hate to tell you, they do. I don't want them to. I've stuck up for him as much as I can. Huh?
He's been fine.
What is the problem now? He bats in the middle of the order and doesn't produce any runs.
He's getting hits left and right. He's getting one or two hits every night.
Would you like to argue the fact that he's
on base?
All right.
The fact that nobody
You're feeling okay about it. I know you and Braden argue for him all the time. I've argued for him many times as well. The analytical statistics will tell you that he comes up with runners on base like Manny, like Merrill in front of him and does not drive them in. 21 RBIs for a number 5 hitter in the middle of a major league lineup is not going to get it done.
But he's not a number 5 hitter. He's a number 6 or a number 7 hitter.
Until he is, they have a problem.
Again, just because the guys in front of him don't get on doesn't mean once the guys.
But he's not batting 7th; he's batting 5th. That's why it's a problem.
Because the guys in front of him don't get on base. That's not his fault.
Whoa! I just told you, Manny and Merrill, they're on.
No,
they're not in.
Right. Okay. Fair. You did. But again, he's normally Sheets is batting 5th, and then Bogaerts is behind him. So if Sheets gets into a double play, then what does that mean?
All right. I you know what? If you want me to bring up everything, batting with runners in scoring position and that, and the other,
he has been a lot better.
Has produced very little for us, unfortunately.
He has been
that's just
better.
Unfortunate.
He's never going to live up to that contract. He got $80 million more than he should have.
He's got 17 RBIs and 51 at bats. RISP.
He has
a 216
better
average
than he was.
In that. Yeah, but that's not enough. I will say this. With runners in scoring position, he has one more home run than Manny Machado does.
There you go.
Manny didn't have any with a runner in scoring position all season. That's incredible. Fernando has 1. The whole team has 5.
I mean,
it's almost amazing they are where they are. If you consider a statistic like that.
I'm sorry to bring it up and make the comparison, but the 2020 Mets were also that anomaly where they were so good, but they could not hit a thing with runners in scoring position. They were hitting something like 360, and then that would drop to like 150.
Where'd the 2020 Mets end up, Frank?
They were supposed to be in the playoffs. They weren't.
Oh, that was the 2020. Well, that's a short season too.
I know, but still, that was a team that could have won half a division that year.
I can live with Bogaerts.
The playoffs.
I can live with Bogaerts batting 7th. I can't live with him batting 5th too much longer, if any longer. I don't have much of a choice. And the reason I don't have much of a choice is because of the number 1 overwhelming problem. LF. And I want to say one last thing about LF. That's left field. I'm going to say this as nicely as I can, Frank. I think it is bordering on irresponsible at this point to keep putting Gavin Sheets in left field.
Who else are you going to put out there?
I think you almost have to go with what you're doing tonight. Tyler Wade, until you can get a left fielder, and put Lockridge and Wade and maybe Hayward when he gets off the IL this time. I don't know, but I think Sheets has to DH. He is one of my most important assets right now. And you almost got him knocked out for the year yesterday. You can't take too many more chances with him there. He's too valuable the way he's swinging the bat. I can't run him out to left field responsibly much longer.
I would tend to agree with you on that, not just because of the injury possibility, but especially with how he has played out there, has not looked great. He's looked
flat out bad.
He makes plays when he needs to.
That's not his fault. He's doing the best he can. Well, look, I could go catch a lazy fly ball.
Right.
That's about all I can do.
But also,
he can't do much more, unfortunately. And he's doing his best. I think it's irresponsible, or at least bordering on it, to Keep putting him out there. If he gets hurt and misses 2 months, what's left for you? You've already, you made it through without Merrill. You made it through without Jake. You made it through without Arise. You're going to chance it with Sheets for a couple of months?
What was it Saturday that he had 2 outfield assists? Or at some point last week, he had 2 outfield
assists? An overrated
assists?
statistic because everybody's going to run on Sheets.
But
and he'll throw a couple people out.
No, but the reason why he had those outfield assists is because he misplayed the ball.
Right.
And
That's right.
and
He
gave
bobbled
them the
one.
chance.
Yes, I saw that.
So
yeah.
that was Friday.
Yeah, I know what
actually.
you mean, though.
But it's not, it may look good at times, but if it's not, that is a defensive liability, and that is a position
I don't mind. The liability bothers me, but doesn't destroy me. The fact that Sheets could get hurt and miss the rest of the season makes it irresponsible to keep putting him there.
He can, to take one of Tony's lines that he's used against me, actually, is he can roll an ankle stepping off the curb, leaving the ballpark, and be out for the rest of the year. But
it's
I see your point.
To step off the curb while you cover your eyes. Okay.
I see
and
your
you can't
point.
see. It's, yes, anybody can get hurt playing any position. Gavin Sheets is likely to get hurt playing left field.
Yes. No, and I agree with that point 100%. There is going to be a fix coming. It has to be the number one priority.
Did I just say number one? I mean number one.
I mean for the team, not you.
No, I put it number one, though.
I
It's
know
the
you
number
did.
one thing that's a problem right now that has to get fixed.
But that for the team has to be the number one priority. Forget about relief help. Forget about
a starter.
Forget about starting help. Forget about relief help. That has to be number one priority. I threw that pen at Sam, who's giving me the watch on the way out.
I'll tell you what. Let's go 15 more minutes and make Sam wait.
I agree.
Yeah, go sit down, Sam. All right. Well, we'll let Sam come in. The pregame show's next. Enjoy Padre baseball. We'll break it all down tomorrow at 2:00. See you then on Gwynn and Chris.